From the swamps of Louisiana, the Cajun Predator.
The day of the hairy freak or the fat slob is practically gone.
Let the party begin. I've got snacks.
Hey, look at us. We did it again. Another 7 days around the sun. Welcome. WCW Deep Cuts Live as I heard the sweet tones of a Prime sub. Thank you, Doc M234. I appreciate it. I never begged for it, but I put him on a little syringe and I stick him in my butt cheek. There we go. Welcome to WCW Deep Cuts Live every Tuesday at 9 p.m. We gather here to watch the forgotten quote-unquote television classics from World Championship Wrestling in the 1990s. Hello to everyone in the chat. I see Assured Outcomes, Refs' Wizards. Nathan with a Y, Optimum Vision. Everyone's friend Jonathan Mayer's here. Tom McCartney's back. Welcome. TK Bomber. Yes, performance enhancing subs. Human growth subs. LJH is here. The man, the myth, the legend, Brian Dermody is here. No, you stick it. Hello, Justin, aka Buddha Bull. Let's see. Chandrox is here. Jared Shee, glad to have you back. Glad to have you back, Jared. Lonely is here. Lonely no longer. You're with friends. PJ, hello. Let's see. I thought I saw a couple others. Throwing Fresh, of course, bring in the erotic Eric Fontana emoji. Fartmaster Supreme. Wouldn't have a Fartmaster any other way. Let's see. I believe if I missed you, I'm sorry. Casual Villainy, hello. Hello. Yeah. So in a moment, we'll watch WCW Pro Chicago from August '92. Hello, B. Clark for Dark. You're glad to see a lot of Bob Mold, a lot of Sugar Chat in the chats early on. For those of you watching the YouTube VOD, you won't understand why. Before the stream, I wanted to listen to Sugar, If I Can't Change Your Mind, off of Copper Blue, one of the best albums, maybe ever. Definitely the best album of the 90s. Just saying a lot, but love it. Bob Mold also, of course, has the WCW connection. He was on the booking team towards the end of the company's lifespan, and also he wrote a really nice eulogy. Kevin Sullivan on Facebook that I saw last week. Apparently they were still friends and still talked up until Kevin got real sick. So I'm glad. I was glad to see that. But yeah, Sugar, If I Can't Change Your Mind, anything off Copper Blue. Like Brian said in the chat earlier, it's a top 3 album. Absolutely. Trying to think if I had anything else to say up front. I really don't. I really don't. So let's go ahead and get into this. Yeah, let's go. Opera 75, thank you for the follow. I believe the video might be a little loud. If it is, let me know. Drinking NyQuil, Bam Dog. Are you drinking the NyQuil that tastes like Dimetap? Happy birthday, Optimum Vision. Happy birthday. Glad to see you have it another year. Yeah, the snakeskin boots on Jake.
The Snake Roberts and his attack on Sting.
Larry Zbyszko with a broken arm.
The Cruncher Larry Zbyszko here on Chicago's very own
crushed,
Channel 9. A little bit later on in the hour, we will be seeing the
Arn
attack
Anderson
by Jake
and
the
Bobby
Snake Roberts on Sting and interview Jesse the Body.
Great head of hair on Tony here.
Jake the Snake Roberts.
You know, Jake the Snake lived up to his name, Tony. He slithered out there and did a devastating attack on Sting, one which they had to literally carry the man
Teo
off.
Cham.
He's got some ulterior motives. I know Jake is a real snake.
Fans, we will have in the hour Barry Windham one-on-one against the tailor-made man. Also,
the great thing about
Jimmy
Jake
Jam
Roberts,
Garvin of the
hello,
Freebirds
Blast
will take on Jushin Thunder Liger. We'll have an interview
Thank you
from
so
Ron
much for bringing
Simmons,
the
World
flat
Heavyweight
soda
Champion.
and the
He
half-eaten
and Big Van Vader had a
crackers.
tremendous matchup here in Chicago last Saturday.
Yeah, it was an unbelievable, brutal
but the great
match.
thing about
The kind that we
Larry's
expected,
shirt here is
especially
it
with
looks
Harley
like
Race
any
in the corner.
number of
And no doubt
college
about
rock
it, Ron
bands'
Simmons
music
has the holy
videos from
grail.
around this time.
He's everybody's target.
Let's go to the ring in our first match on WGN.
Ooh, we got WCW Pro matches coming from center stage. Hey, Judas Effect. There was a tag match, I believe, on WCW Saturday Night, where Bobby Eaton came off the second rope with a knee drop on Larry Zbyszko's arm. Yeah. Yes, this is WG in Chicago. I got this. We got the local Chicago feed. I'm from a couple hours away from Chicago in central Indiana. So we got this every Saturday morning. This is going to be a match. Jimmy Garvin of the Freebirds, head to head with Jushin Thunder Liger. The weird-ass WCW light heavyweight division, where it was like Pillman and Liger, who were like the two guys from the future, and then a bunch of guys like Jimmy Garvin, who were just small versions of heavyweights.
Boy, you're pretty long-winded today, aren't you, Cavani?
Let's talk about things are happening in WCW.
Jushin Jam Liger. I wonder if they shared hair care techniques in the back. I think I've shared it on here before. I met Liger at a convention back in April. Very small hands. I shook his hand, and I have like an alright sized hand. Not a huge hand, but it's an okay hand. And, like, my hand like engulfed his. Like I was Andre the Giant.
That's why he's telling the referee right there. Come on, get him out of the corner.
Yeah, I believe Jimmy Garvin is off the gas at this point. He's got them chicken legs. Scotty Flamingo actually had been champion by this point and lost it to Brad Armstrong. Now I got everybody in the chat talking about my hands. Dude, Liger's still, like, the great thing about that bodysuit, he can never age. He's like, it is like 50s, like late 50s, early 60s, I believe now. He's like old. And it's like, looks exactly the same as he did in 92, because it's got a full bodysuit with a mask.
Brad Armstrong is a light heavyweight champion. We understand Brad will be on the next big card coming to Chicago. And Liger, Flying Brian, Johnny B. Bad, many others.
And Jimmy Garvin's hair alone puts him over 235, which, by the way, back then 235 pounds was the light heavyweight limit, if you will. 235 pounds. That is a genuine UFC heavyweight.
He didn't have enough weight, or did he have Garvin?
Jimmy Garvin doing the super heavyweight throw the guy off thing? That's bullshit. You're not really that much bigger.
Garvin on top, Liger on top. Two very good wrestlers right here. Now they're both thinking. Garvin's really thinking.
I don't think I do not think, Nathan, they're going to pass on the Liger character, just because so many people know that it's so synonymous with that performer, even if you don't know what he looks like under the mask. Like, I just think it's so, like, you could tell. He has a unique body type as well. But I could be wrong, but if they haven't passed it down yet, I don't ever see them doing so. Look at Jimmy Garvin here being an asshole. Like, yeah, I'm 2 inches taller than you, so I'm gonna slam you around and no-sell all your stuff. Not my fault. Oh, rolling capo kick. That was a hell of a sell, actually. I'm giving Jimmy Garvin shit for not selling, and then he sells really well. Oh! And Jushin Liger wins. Clean. And the kiddos go wild. Well,
And this is the WCW magazine, Friday, September 11th.
God, Eric looks like
Valentine.
he sells coke to rich people.
Pavilion. World Championship Wrestling returns. Now, I've just been in contact with promoter Gary Jester, who is involved in some very intense negotiations.
Gary Jester, shout out Ian Riccaboni.
WCW World Heavyweight Champion Ron Simmons will defend his title.
Who's not
right
Gary
here
Jester. I just realized I made it sound like Ian Riccaboni is Gary Jester.
But some very, very interesting
they're buddies,
challenges
though.
coming in.
Hey, old man
We'll
Moonsault.
try to find
looks
out more
like, yeah.
about Ron Simmons and his world title defense next week. Here in
By the way, like I know Bischoff's an
Also
asshole. I
Speaking
kind of
Nikita
don't
Koloff
like that
teaming
people are
up
giving him
to face
shit for having to get a
Jake
job.
Roberts and the United States Heavyweight Champion.
Like, I get that he's an
Rick
asshole
Rude.
that
Ricky the Dragon Steamboat
says
meets
stupid
Sonny,
things
Steve
on
Austin, and the
podcasts.
Steiner
We can make
Brothers.
fun of him for a
They're
lot
gonna
of
be taking
shit.
on the Barbarian and Cactus
Looks like he's
Jack.
trying to do Rod
The
Stewart.
natural
Yes.
Dustin Rhodes will be facing AA Arn Anderson. And
Ian
a whole lot
Riccaboni
more. All this
is
action
the
going
man of
down at
1,000
Chicago's
jobs.
UIC Pavilion.
Not to
Friday,
be
September
confused
11th,
with
8 o'clock
Joey
Valentine.
Maggs.
Tickets are on sale now. Get them early. The box office opens up at 11 a.m.
When I was a kid, I
or you
would
can go
always
to
like
any
sit really
Ticketmaster
close to the
location
TV and try to
tell them
figure
you
out
want to be a
what
part
was
of World
playing on all
Championship
the
Wrestling,
screens.
where you'll see Ron Simmons defending his new World Heavyweight Championship right here in Chicago. Also, all kids ages 14 and under receive a free WCW
Who owns the rights to the
hip-hop.
Ding Dongs?
Make
I don't
your
think
plans
any.
now
I
to be a
think
part of the action.
I'm
Eric
pretty
Bischoff
sure,
from
like, if
WCW
two guys on the
magazine.
Indies just wanted to be the Ding Dongs, they could. Like, I think we talked about last week. Filthy Tom Lawler was Arachnoman in an MLW show recently. I think we got a Mike Thor sighting. Oh, Johnny B. Bad. Certainly hope that's Hangman's all-in gear for Wembley this weekend. Sheriff Bad. ACAB, all cops are bad men. Mike Thor, yep. I could tell by the little thin spot on the back of his head.
Promoter Gary Jester right now in negotiations about an opponent for Ron Simmons coming up at the UIC Pavilion.
Johnny B. Bad, that's Chapel Roan's Kentucky Derby outfit.
You're going to find out he has no friends left. They're all going to be gunning for him. Find out if Simmons is a man of his word here.
Oh, I didn't know the story. I didn't know that Lawler stole the costume from Paul Walterhausen. Did not. I saw him come out wearing it in the Royal Rumble thing. Yeah, imagine getting pulled over and the cop has a confetti gun.
Once again, we showed you last week. Jake the Snake Roberts attacks Sting. And Barry Windham gets
I did. I saw that Brian Danielson credited PN News taking him out to karaoke every night when he was doing the Buttons camps. That really awesome interview he did at Kerrang! Magazine, I believe it was, last week. Yeah, people love confetti guns. If you have a confetti gun, you're like the top 3 babyface in any company.
What is on his mind?
It's a good question.
Referee Mike Adkins, as I always say, is the amalgamation of all the other referees.
That means you can't trust your friends.
You have no friends. You have business associates.
The quickness of
Mike
Johnny
Adkins
B. Bad,
appeared to have been
the
taking a
elbow
break
dive of
right
Mike
there.
Thor, both men
Kind of
tie up
leaning
the
off to the
Thor.
side.
The heavier of the two,
Oh.
moving back to the rope, but Johnny used the quickness to get
Johnny's
away.
like, I'm a boxer. You can't do that to me. That is awesome, Rowan Fresh. If you can't see that, Rowan says, I saw PN News wrestle at a fair in Blackpool. I would love, I've seen footage of like a match or two from those like Butlins camp shows. That seems like so much fun.
Dragon twist by Thor. He's going to work on the arm. I guess the best way to take away the punch is to take
Yeah,
away
Mike
the
Atkins
arm.
letting a little bit of that chest hair pop out for the collar of that their referee shirt.
Fireman's carry tickled.
Whoa, good move.
Nope. I'm gonna have to scoot because my camera went.
Boy, Johnny B. Bad is moving.
Thor drops on the outside.
That's what I get for not testing shit before I go live.
Turning his back on his opponent here.
Well, that's not very smart, but I'm telling you, a lot of wrestling moves I just seen Johnny B. Bad hit this man with. He's coming a long way.
Those CWA music videos are great. I'm glad you mentioned it, Nathan. What the hell happened? Okay, we're back.
Being his partner. Why would you want to be
Yeah, Johnny B. Bad was technically a light heavyweight. But the story they would always do with him is when he would wrestle in the division, he would have to cut down to like make sure he would absolutely make weight. Hello, Hav. I never heard that Johnny B. Bad was supposed to be called Tutti Frutti, but I mean, that makes sense. Wrestling's very literal. Dude, confetti is the worst to clean up. I've had to clean it up off carpeted floors before. Oh, jeez! Mike Thor bumped on his forehead. Yes, they did it with Disco Inferno later in WCW. They also did it with Christian in the WWF on an episode of Heat. The kiss that don't miss. That don't miss. Bam! Can't slow down a punch in a wrestling match because it always shows how badly it missed. What the fuck is that babyface team?
World Championship Wrestling.
Like, Steve Dr. Death Williams and Terry Gordy gonna come out and kick some ass against Marcus Bagwell and Big Josh. Like Barry Thor after getting hit in the head. God, I don't even understand what the New Japan Junior Heavyweight Division line is anymore.
You won't want to miss out on the trip of a lifetime and the biggest World Championship Wrestling event of the holiday season. To enter, send your name,
your complete address, your social security number, your measurements, all of your family's phone numbers, and your parents' routing number and bank account numbers to Nestle Crunch.
What a scrumptious holiday gift. Compliments of Nestle Crunch and World Championship Wrestling.
What does the Omni Hotel look like today? I'm assuming a pile of rocks. I believe I had that catalog, and I don't know how. Look at this team. They look like a father and son stripper duo. Wow. Look at that guy! Did you guys see that? It's like, don't touch me! Don't touch me, you well-manicured, oiled-up man! Thank you, Nathan. I tried to be persuasive. I tried to use, like, 6th grade persuasive essay skills for those That's Why They Rule videos that I make. So I'm glad I was persuasive. Oh yeah, Marcus Bagwell is definitely Rookie of the Year at this point. I think this is only like his 2nd year Rookie of the Year.
There they are, the World Tag Team Champions. Jim Ross is with us this week, and he'll be talking to Doc and Gordy after this matchup. As a matter of fact, I know what's on the mind of many.
The funny thing is, now you stick it, is despite popular belief, Bill Watts was not the one who hired them. He inherited these bookings. K. Allen Fry was the one who hired Steve Williams and Terry Gordy. And then Watts showed up and he saw the booking sheets. He's like, how'd you know I was coming?
The Steiner Brothers out of the way. You know, if Rick Steiner was a real man, he wouldn't wear a headgear.
Side headlock from Bagwell. On to Dr. Death, Steve Williams. Tag is made for Big Josh.
Shout out to Marcus Bagwell, who with his new haircut is now standing at 7'2". Go find his YouTube channel. He's doing the Maven thing now. Whoever's running his social medias, having him do those Maven videos.
Dr. Death told Paul Lee, he said, we don't want to hear or see of the Steiners when we come back. If that is the case, then certainly the top contender for the World Tag title would have to be Arn Anderson.
He does sound a little higher pitched.
A lot smarter than you think, and not only that, I wouldn't trust Paulie Dangerous.
Well, number one, Paulie ain't as smart as you think. Believe me, I ran the DA. Paulie Dangerous, however, is low.
Oh, the Dangerous Alliance. I'm like, when the fuck was Larry Zbyszko a cop?
You know, Arn Anderson and Bobby Eaton do do get rid of the Steiners. You know, a lot of people think it's because Doc and Terry are...
Look at this lockup. That's a lockup, folks. That is a great lockup. That is when lockups were lockups.
And give some other wrestlers a chance.
Big Josh, left hands on Dr. Dead, double axe handle.
I was giving Big Josh shit a few minutes ago, but this is a hell of a pairing.
Kicked him right in the chest that time. Hit a
Coach Hill 86, thank you so much for the flat soda and the crackers. Here, I will type the code or the tip jar in the chat now that you bring it up, Jonathan, because I had a few folks mention that they couldn't use the QR code, so I took it off the screen. So here, give me just a moment. While I type that in, as Terry Gordy's in now. Terry Bam Bam Gordy. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh.
Vertical suplex from Terry Bam Bam Gordy, covered 1, 2, got it 2 count.
Yeah, he should lock these hands.
Yeah, I think it was the problem with the QR code for some folks was that a lot of folks watch this on their phones, and the QR code doesn't work on the phone, I guess.
Josh does not give up. He continues to pound away, but he has been...
Let me know if that link works. I believe it should. I popped it in the chat. If you have the means and want to throw a few shekels, a few dollars, a few cents towards me, that'd be great. The virtual tip jar, it popped in the chat. And if not, I do this for the love of the business, folks.
Trying to turn him over, I think, maybe.
I love how Big Josh's gimmick was that he was an untrained fan. And within a year, he's hanging on the mat. Like, being able to keep off of his back against Dr. Death Steve Williams. Hell yeah, PJ. I think that's how we should all dress. It's like Big Josh. At work, at home. This makes me want to see Big Josh against Steve Williams. They are killing it. Seriously, Big Josh should have been the Rookie of the Year. Picked it up real quick. Shout out Jonathan, thank you so much for the tip.
Nowhere for Josh to go. Snapmare takeover.
Nowhere for Josh to go. Blast Beats. That is an excellent debut in the chat. Blast Beats says Matt Bourne, an untrained fan. That's just some clown stuff.
Right now, he should be trying to get over and tag Bagwell.
Bagwell stuck his head through. There goes Doc with a head.
That was a great debut in the Erotic Eric Fontaine fan club, aka the chat.
This is an example of teamwork. Even though they got the bigger, stronger man.
I'm sorry to hear that, PJ. I do not admire that at all.
They're keeping him down.
Into the rope, big foot. Josh got the foot up.
Boom.
Now he needs to make a tag.
Make a tag to the Rookie of the Year, Henry Baumgardner.
Crawling over, made it. Got it. Bagwell. Runs right over Terry Bam Bam Gordy.
Boy, Bagwell better stay on him.
Thez press. Not enough wrestlers do the Thez press as a pin anymore, where like you put the heels underneath the thighs and lean forward. Hey, Mr. Bluestein, that is Big Josh. Yes, it is.
The referee trying to get Big Josh out.
Hey, right there, Big Josh. I don't think he's thinking straight because he better get out.
Oh, this is going to be dope. The second rope stampede.
Came off on it. And that's all.
There we go.
Here are your winners, the WCW World Tag Team Champions, Dr. Steve Williams.
That was dope. That was a hell of a little match. Shout out to Big Josh for having a very credible match with Steve Williams while dressed like a frickin' lumberjack. Absolutely, Big Josh and Buddy Landau definitely are in the what might have been Hall of Fame.
They wore Big Josh down to the point he didn't even know where he was at. Bam! Knocking the wind out. They kept the wind out of him.
Fantasy booking. What if Big Josh went to ECW and was like a gay lumberjack? Not like stereotype, like shitty 90s bullshit, gay bull, you know what I mean. But like, just a tough fucking dude from the woods, just happens to be gay.
Whether it be the Steiner Brothers, Dustin Rhodes and Barry Windham, Ricky the Dragon, Steamboat, and Nikita Koloff.
Like Paul wanted to do that with the Balls Mahoney original. Balls Mahoney was supposed to be a gay character.
I think we've done proven ourselves time and time again.
These tag belts are awesome. They just fell apart really, really quickly.
You go out and you line them up, and I guarantee you we'll knock them down.
And Doc, I know that you're ready for any team.
I'm so fired.
He's ready to go pee, as the Hobbs said.
I'm telling you, Daddy, anyone, all you have to do is sign your name on the dotted line.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, there you hear from the World Tag Team Champions, and we'll be back on WCW.
Is it true Balls Mahoney wouldn't shower while on ECW? I'm sure it is. I don't think Balls Mahoney showered until the day he died.
WCW Magazine.
R.I.P.
Friday, September 11th. That's when World Championship Wrestling returns to the Windy City. Chicago's UIC Pavilion, the place.
Yeah.
Ron Simmons.
Then it looks like Eric Bischoff still doctored at the cocaine that he was using.
A little earlier on in the hour, I mentioned that promoter Gary Juster involved in some intense negotiations.
Gary Juster off the screen holding a gun. You better mention me every segment. Every segment, Eric. My kids are watching. My family's watching.
In World Championship Wrestling. Also on the card, Sting and Nikita Koloff to face.
I think we got in the center screen. I think it's Magnum TA hosted main event.
He is signed to face Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Special challenge match right here in Chicago.
I always love special challenge match. Look, it's Paulie with the stubble.
A lot of things
it means he's
People have
sleeping.
come and gone, and belts have changed hands. One thing that hasn't happened, though, Paul, nothing has taken the World TV
That looks
title
like
away
a
from me.
brand new championship
I am
belt.
and will be the World Television
Like, it's
title holder
too
for
clean.
as long as I want to be. Steamboat, you can complain to whoever you want about getting a title shot. You won't get a title shot until you prove you're worthy.
Paul's doing some method acting there. Like how everybody's like freaking out because in that one Bloodline promo, like he didn't sleep the night before, so he could look all sad and disheveled.
Going fast. Get down to the box office. It opens up.
He cut his tongue out. It's method acting.
Any Ticketmaster outlet. Tell them you want to be a part of World Championship Wrestling and see Ron Simmons defending his world.
God, Austin was in denial about that hairline.
Chicago. But now
years.
Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. He is
Yes,
standing by ready,
yes,
willing,
Steve
and more
J.
than able
Neptune,
to
man.
be stunning.
Steve Austin was supposed to be from Hollywood, California. Talking like
I've
this.
been down to the office, down to World Championship Wrestling, and had my name on the dotted line for title matches. But you've been going around telling everybody.
Can you just do that?
I
Like
have
as a
to prove
wrestler, just go to the
myself
office and be
once
like,
again
I'm
deserve
signing
a
my
title
name in
shot with
all
you.
these
But all
contracts.
you're telling me,
You have to
telling
put
the
me in
Dragon,
title
is your
matches.
inability
You don't
to
have a
perform and
choice.
hold on to that
Legally
championship
binding.
belt. I'll accept the challenge for a non-title, but the next one you'll have to put the belt up. Listen.
Next one, you have to put the belt on the line.
Steamboat
Also, I'm going to
battling
kidnap
out
your
a special
children.
challenge match at UIC Pavilion right here in Chicago, Friday, September 11th, 8 o'clock bell time.
Right here in
WCW
Chicago,
light heavyweight
you
action
fucking
also
liar.
coming your way. Flying Brian Pillman on the card, and Sting, Nikita Koloff teaming up to face Jake the Snake Roberts and ravishing Rick Rude. And after what
He's
transpired
saying
between
it like
Jake the Snake Roberts and Sting, and what's been transpiring between Nikita Koloff and ravishing
he's on
Rick Rude,
CSI Miami
this is a tag
or
team
something.
war you don't want to miss. And all kids
trying to think of the
ages
guy's
14 and
name.
under receive a free WCW hip pouch. So make your plans
Oh,
now.
shit.
Be a part of the hardest
I want one of
wrestling action
those.
anywhere. Friday, September 11th, right here in Chicago at the UIC Pavilion.
I need one of
I'm Eric
those for
Bischoff.
my
Stay with
pills.
us.
For my SSRIs. David Caruso, thank you, Brian. For some reason, I was going to call him David Russo. Like he was in Blossom's family. Dan Spivey. Would you believe this man was on drugs? And now he's like the guy that recruits people into rehab for WWE. Like that's his actual job, is to like convince old drug addict wrestlers to go into rehab.
Yeah, this is a field day for Spivey. He came out of there. This is not a match for Dangerous Dan.
What a
He's gonna
mullet.
have fun. He's having fun here.
Apparently is. Although the look is the same on the face, that wild-eyed look.
Wild-eyed look. He had bug eyes. I can't believe Danny Spivey just a few years before this was supposed to be like
What is with this?
All-American Sweet as apple pie babyface. Like, no, this man looks fucking crazed. Oh, jeez!
It is over. 2 and 3.
That power bomb was nasty. He's his eyes.
Spivey gets the win. Still to come. We'll see how Jake the Snake Roberts attacks Sting.
Yeah, his gear looks like he just borrowed a bunch of guys' stuff. Red boots, white knee pads, black trunks. Lives are gonna be Waylon Mercy's hand. That's an all-time great entrance. The Chicagoland Report. Is Larry Zbyszko gonna like read off like the police blotter? Are they gonna do the weather?
Thursday, September 10th, Friday, September the 11th, the UIC Pavilion in Chicago will return.
Plug the house show in Terre Haute, Indiana.
Cleveland, Ohio, Cleveland State University will be there on Saturday, September the 12th, 8 o'clock bell time. As a matter of fact, we have standing by the one and only world heavyweight
champion. Hey, Handlebar Orion X. Orion. That would be great if we had a Worst of the Super Juniors.
I can't tell.
But imagine being recruited for the Worst of the Super Juniors. Hey, you suck. We need you for this tournament.
I've fought for since I've been in professional wrestling. From day one, this is what everyone in this sport wants to be. It's the world heavyweight champion. This was my opportunity came, and I was
before Vader broke Joe Thurman's neck. I forget the month.
Heavyweight champion. And
I
in
always forget the month.
I am going to prove again that
hey, B. Clark. Yes.
I have waited, and
I know he mentioned something about it on Off the Grid, then on my show. I don't know if they mentioned it on Between the Sheets this week, but yeah, next week we're recording Thursday. I will be on Between the Sheets. Chris Zellner and David Dixon span next week. It was very late '92. I thought it was, yeah, so this is before, just a little bit.
Feels too good to let go. I will be at my best, and you better be too.
No question, world champion Ron Simmons focused, ready to go in our next event here in Chicago, the UIC Pavilion. And Larry, right now we understand.
And Larry, it's supposed to be 86 and muggy outside today.
Simmons will defend his world heavyweight title, and of course, it could be anybody.
I love this
yeah, well, you know, it's going to
green
be
screen graphic.
You know, I'm sure Simmons is now starting to realize that as holder of the Holy Grail itself, he has no more friends.
The Holy Grail.
In the whole wide world, everybody wants what he has. Friend and foe. So Simmons, you know, can be shooting his mouth off talking about
Shivani's like, nobody wants the world title.
Everybody's going to be coming after Simmons. Let's see if he's a man of his word.
Everybody is going to be in Chicago, the UIC Pavilion.
Tony looks so indignant at the idea that anybody would want to challenge for the WCW World title.
Sting will be there. U.S. Heavyweight Champion Ravishing Rick Rude, and of course Eric Bischoff will have more on it a little bit later on in WCW Magazine. And we'll be back after this timeout.
Yes, we will. Of course, we will always remember September 11 at the UIC Pavilion. There we go, Barry Windham, Big Barry. There's still just the one world title. They're getting ready to crown the NWA world title over in Japan. It is Ted DiBiase, Taylor's version, against Barry Windham. Yeah, this is the end of Barry being motivated. He loses his motivation a few months after this.
Barry Windham, he and Dustin Rhodes.
Which is a shame, because he was an all-time great.
Greg the Hammer Valentine as of late.
Yeah, well, those are two guys, you know, the Hammer and Dirty Dick.
Yeah, Greg Valentine and Terry Taylor were a team around this time.
Dustin Rhodes and Barry Windham have been holding their own remarkably well. This match could be a classic. Terry Taylor, very ring-wise veteran.
Classic Larry.
Windham, very good wrestler. Bam! Look at, for a big man, he can get up there.
Handlebar Orion X brings up a good point. Tony Schiavone has had all of the looks. This and like the weird, the TNA run look where he had the goatee and the Hawaiian shirt that was unbuttoned with like his Kiss shirt underneath. Like in TNA or in AEW, he's got the little earring and the Rivers Cuomo glasses. Yes, Terry Taylor and Greg Valentine were the last U.S. Tag Team Champions. That's right.
Well, if I told you what they were, they wouldn't be a surprise.
Walking around in a circle around my desk.
I have a Larry Zbyszko trivia question Monday. How's that sound?
That's an interesting question, B. Clark for Dark. Is there a modern equivalent to Barry Windham in that everyone agrees they could be a tippy-top guy, but they won't be largely because they don't want to? I feel like everybody these days is like so into having bangers that like you don't really get a guy who... I think the last guy kind of like that in wrestling was Carlito. Like that was the last generation that where you could like kind of, where it was like encouraged to just not give a shit. Hey, it's Kurt Hennig's move.
Taylor's got Windham seeing stars, and he's going to make sure Windham keeps seeing stars.
Oh, I had to jump over him. Couldn't just go the other way.
Quickly, Barry was out, and Barry returns fire with a blow.
The culture's completely different these days. Like, it's way, the wrestlers anymore aren't, like back in the day, if you watched wrestling, you were seen as a nerd. Whereas now it's like, you gotta watch everything, you gotta keep up with all the styles.
Now he knows it's too late.
2 count. And right to the throat again. Double chop that time from the Taylor-made man, and Taylor looking
I'm trying to think, is anybody really even, like, even the shitty guys aren't lazy. Just shitty.
There you go. He has to get him down off.
Like Ted DiBiase Jr. gave a shit. It's just didn't really have a personality.
Got a 2 count. Notice the way his elbow was stuck in his throat when he
Like, and there was a period where Ted DiBiase Jr. was good.
Now, that's what I said. He's got a big man down. Now they're the same size.
Like,
in fact, Taylor even looks bigger.
I remember when he first got called up. He had like a really good match with Batista, like his debut in the company, or his debut on TV. Like he got brought up through with the Pro Wrestling Noah Dojo.
And the referee almost saw that.
Yeah, Loki's problem isn't laziness. It's that he's batshit insane.
He's acting tough, but believe me, it bothers you.
Into the ropes. Swinging neck breaker out of the ropes by Taylor. Great move.
Windham telegraphed that one. Look at the way.
Fucking the near leg. Come on, Terry. You know better. You know better than that.
Clever little moves of torture.
Clever little moves of torture, huh?
Clever little moves of torture.
To the far side rope.
That is my favorite emo band.
And Taylor got the left
On the
shoulder
Warped Tour, the
Almost
dying
like
years.
Windham went for a quick one there. Instead of taking that extra second to lock the
Clever
man
little
in.
moves of torture.
into the corner.
Whoop.
Up high, back body drop. Windham has him in the corner, and Taylor fights
Nakamura's lazy, but I think he got lazy when he realized there was no chance of him being like a tippy top. Like NXT Nakamura wasn't like super lazy.
And he comes off the rope, but he did not initiate.
What about this? What about this?
Windham's on the middle turnbuckle.
Oh.
Loophole.
Superplex gets the win.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is your winner, Barry Windham.
I think Nakamura's case was just that he had
with the superplex,
he had it beaten out of him.
took advantage as Windham was on the middle turnbuckle.
Like he got to he won the Royal Rumble, he got to the WrestleMania title match, and he's just like, this is as good as it's gonna get. Gorgeous superplex by Barry Windham.
Boy, he got Taylor's win caught.
Coming up next, all about Jake the Snake Roberts' attack on Sting, and Jesse the Body Ventura interviews Jake the Snake Roberts right now. Here's the magazine.
Here's the magazine.
And this is the final edition of
what
this
is
week's
up with all these
WCW
freaking magazines?
Friday, September 11th, 8 o'clock bell time.
Hey, Lord Drizzy.
Pavilion right here in Chicago.
Glad to see you in the Erotic Eric Fontaine
Simmons
fan club,
will
aka
defend
the
his
chat. That was a
WCW
beautiful.
World Heavyweight
I agree.
title. Promoter Gary Juster involved as we speak. It's
Seriously,
very
Gary
intense
Juster
negotiations for
is
a
like
match
the
with
top
Ron
babyface
Simmons.
in this
Now,
company.
As I said
on
earlier,
this show.
nobody is naming any names yet, but some
And
very,
Eric's a
very
little boy of
interesting
wrestling,
challenges
a
coming
little
in
bit
from all
Eric
over the
Bischoff.
world. The new World Heavyweight Champion, Ron Simmons, and we're going to try to find out who Ron Simmons' opponent will be for that world title
3
bout
for 3.
next week. Also,
Gary
Sting
Juster
and
being
Nikita
mentioned in
Koloff
these segments.
will face Jake the Snake Roberts and the United States Heavyweight Champion, Ravishing Rick Rude. This is going to be a war. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat meets stunning Steve Austin.
The year was
Steiner Brothers,
1992.
they're going to face the Barbarian and Cactus Jack.
Battleground was the
Dustin
UIC
Rhodes is trying to face
Pavilion.
Double A Arn Anderson. Big
We were
Barry
walking
Windham, he'll be
around
meeting
the
beautiful Bobby
riverside.
Eaton, Van Hammer and the Z-Man teaming up.
Ron Simmons
to face
showed up.
Dick Slater and Greg the Hammer Valentine.
That would be
All kids
great
ages
if
14 and
modern
under receive a
wrestling
free
had fan
WCW hip pouch. Tickets are available now. You can get your
God,
tickets
I want
at the
one of those
UIC
so
Pavilion
bad.
box office or any Ticketmaster outlet, but make your plans
I feel like
Don't miss
fan
out. World
clubs,
Championship
though,
Wrestling action
would
coming
just
your
end in,
way
like,
Friday, September 11th. I'm Eric Bischoff, and this
murders?
is the final edition of this week's
Like
WCW
wrestlers being
magazine.
murdered by their
Stay with
fans?
us. The action continues.
Up next, Jake Roberts in this little tiny box we found.
And we're now going to see the footage. Jake the Snake Roberts attacks Sting, and it happened in Baltimore back on August 2nd.
Yeah, but if you remember, Rick Rude was wrestling Nikita Koloff, U.S. title. Bam, all of a sudden, Cactus Jack, then Sting, then
Well, Emerald
the
Lagasse,
slithers the
whatever the
snake.
fuck that
Maybe
guy's last name
Koloff's
was.
involved. You never know here.
You never know with Jake the Snake Roberts. As a matter of fact, he
Oh, yeah,
came out of the
wrestlers love
audience
them
in
a good
Baltimore back
fanny
on
pack.
August the 2nd. He saw the top
Special
of
one
the
that
program, the
rattles.
DDT. Let's take a
Wink,
look
wink.
at the situation again.
Yes, Matt P. There was a tag match on Saturday night around this time where Larry kind of had his arm planted, and then Bobby Eaton came off the second rope with a knee drop. That was kind of their like, oh, you're not the cruncher anymore. Bobby's the cruncher, and then they just kind of dropped it. This is a really good angle. Like Bill Watts, huge bigot, hateful monster. He could book a good angle. The team, I don't think Larry managed a team. Michael Hayes managed Arn Anderson and Bobby Eaton around this time. That's a good point, Matt. Sting really did have, like, per capita, the most career, like, rivals that all have an argument for being the career rival of any top babyface in wrestling history. Like, I feel like any Sting feud that went on more than a few months, he found chemistry with that guy. Larry Zbyszko was like the director of authority in TNA. Like,
You know, Larry, I
don't know if he managed it. He might have been with the Naturals. I know Jimmy Hart was with the Naturals.
Yes, he's a snake, Jake the Snake Roberts, but he is also a tremendous wrestler.
In terms of like Sting career feud, it's Muta, Flair, Cactus, Vader, Lex. Hey, the over metal. Thank you so much for the follow.
The metal chair was aimed deliberate. I mean, he was going after neck breaking. So something's up with
I feel
Jake
like
Roberts.
even though he only wrestled Hogan a couple of times, just because they built up to it so much, got to include Hogan.
You know, everybody thinks and
Holy shit.
everybody knows
Jesse
that
looks
Jesse
like
the
someone
Body
dressed
Ventura
up as Jesse
is
for
slightly
Halloween.
partial towards reptiles. And we all know that the holiday season generally comes in the winter time. But not so for Jesse the Body this time. The holiday has arrived in the middle of the red
Like
hot
Jesse
summer.
looks like he's trying
And the
to
holiday to me
like
is
give
the arrival
an extra
of one of
effect
my
for those who are
favorite
watching in
reptiles,
3D.
Jake the Snake Roberts.
Very kind words, Jesse. You know, I'm getting a lot of flack. Everybody wants to point a finger and say, why could you do that?
Like
How
in
did you do
TNA,
that?
I would
Why did you do
even
that? Why did
go
you
with
get
Angle and
Cactus Jack
Jarrett.
involved? Well, let me tell you this. Nobody points a finger at the
Like,
brave
he had
heart
really
that
good
goes out
matches
to
with the
the
both of
deer
them.
stand, drops a little salt around the tree. Then when the dumb deer comes prancing up there, he points that gun right down there and blows his brains out. Nobody points.
Yeah,
a finger
Larry
at him.
Zbyszko doesn't have the
And that's all
best
I
choice
did.
of friends
I
these
baited a hook
days.
so the fish would
As
chew.
Orion
That's
X brought
exactly
up,
what
he is
did.
a
He looked
chase and
good,
rants
though,
fellow.
didn't he? He came down there and just kicked up on everybody.
Sting
Well,
in
be a star.
in
Let me tell you
Avalanche.
something.
is a great point to bring up, Matt. They had excellent chemistry. Excellent chemistry.
And telling them that they can get a shot at life. All they got to do
Orion,
is
okay, thank
eat
you.
their vitamins and train and be a good little boy.
Orion, I need to remember that.
Over me was my father.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Dad.
Over Metal, I do not keep up with the NWA.
You want to stand there and let them follow you down.
But I heard they're trucking along.
Man, to where?
Shout out to William Patrick Corrigan.
Tell the kids in the ghettos it's easy, Sting. It's your cross to bear. When I hung that cross over you, Sting, I'm telling you it's yours to bear. You walk with it a while. I'm tired. I'm tired of standing up trying to do the right thing.
I didn't even catch that. Jake Spitz mentioning his father. It's survival.
You know what I loved about it? I loved the tears. I love the cries.
Hey, Larry Zbyszko, Greg Valentine, and Dick Slater at the 20th Clash against Eaton and Anderson. I think that was the end of it.
And Sting, you felt the brunt of it. And I don't think, Sting, you're ever going to survive from this one because you've never met a reptile like this man.
I will do anything and everything.
What is he? Did he say what he's holding?
Expect the unexpected from the snake. Why do I wear this glove?
Oh, it's a glove, okay.
For my own protection. These days, you need protection, man. Whether it's a gun in a pocket.
I don't think Jake and Jesse ever wrestled each other.
At all times.
I think they were like ships in the night.
You just had a little taste, and believe me, brother, I've got a
World Championship Wrestling.
Oh, I think the episode ended already. That was very abrupt. Let me pause this real quick.
Your impressive career, incredible athletic abilities have earned this prestigious honor for you. Best wishes for continued success.
Actually, I think this is the beginning of the next episode. So let me pause it there. That was very abrupt. We're watching 3 episodes, by the way. 3. So we got enough to fill a couple hours. But before we get to the next episode, here's what we'll be watching next week on WCW Deep Cuts Live.
I could be the perfect role model for America. If they looked at me and saw the fine things that I do, maybe there wouldn't be so many shootings.
Congratulations on
retaining the coveted so that's next week. We're going 1 year ahead of 93.
Your impressive career.
And yeah, Rico had a point there. I heard that and I'm like, I gotta clip it.
Best wishes for continued success. Sincerely, Ted Turner. Ron, your day.
Ted Turner works in that building, and the best he could do was send a letter downstairs.
Now that's what I call a perfect fit. And believe me, it's going to take an act of Congress to get it off my waist. I've got the fever now.
The sad thing is, like modern Congress,
believe me, Ron Simmons will be the people's champion. I couldn't have done it without you. I think you will stand behind me. And believe me, I promise you I will do everything in my power to represent this belt and to represent you like your champion should. Thank you.
I agree with you over Metal Pink. Pre-Hogan was peak WCW.
Brought to you by Levi Strauss & Company, makers of Levi's Big
Yeah, Ryan, we definitely do need
Hi, everybody. Tony Schiavone, Larry the Cruncher Zbyszko. You saw the press conference. Ron Simmons, the world champion. He'll be going this week against young Pistol Tracy. Also, Z-Man and Marcus.
I love the shirt on Larry. 2 for 2 on the shirt.
Greg Valentine, but Ron Simmons and young Pistol Tracy still to come.
Well, Tracy Smothers has the opportunity of a lifetime. But
look at Larry being like, I'm not going to call him young Pistol Tracy. He's like in his 30s
One of the men,
at this
of course,
point.
the former world heavyweight champion, the awesome Big Van Vader, 448 pounds, standing by with these comments with Harley Race.
Ron Simmons, the whole world.
The best part about being Vader in this era
in Baltimore
is if you didn't know what you were going to say in a promo,
on a silver platter, brother.
you could just like,
and now
you could just go, ugh, and it would work.
To keep it.
It would totally work.
Big Van Vader has no fear, no pain, and no excuses. But brother, I trained for Sting, and you showed up. I trained for Muhammad Ali, and Mike Tyson showed up. Is that justice? Is that the new order of the WCW?
No, that's you training for the wrong sport.
So. Yeah, you tricked the monster, but now the monster is mad.
Larry left the AWA. Didn't really leave the AWA. He was like the last one there. He was the champion, and he jumped over to WCW when Vern stopped running shows in 1990, like into 90.
I'm coming after you.
Because when he started with WCW, like, he would do commentary on Pro and just bitch all the time about how he, like, never lost the AWA belt. There we go. As mentioned earlier, actually a different team. It was not Terry Taylor. It's Dick Slater and Greg Valentine.
Well, he is, and I tell you, when he says he has no fear, Van Vader don't need fear. He's 450 pounds. He is a monster.
I guarantee you there is footage from Headline News Sports of an anchor talking over Atlanta Hawks highlights to that song.
There you see Valentine and Slater set to go.
Notice the way they look. Two veterans.
Dick Slater and Greg Valentine. My favorite team that is also named after my Pornhub top search, Hammerdicks. Here we go. Z-Man and Marcus Alexander Bagwell.
Bagwell and the Z-Man set to go in this feature matchup as we kick off.
Vader is from Compton, like as a shoot.
WCW Pro Chicago. Want to say a very special hello to all of our fans down in Monroe, Louisiana. Tonight at the Civic Center, WCW.
Hello, fans of Monroe, Louisiana, which is nowhere near Chicago.
Will be in New Orleans, downtown at 3 o'clock in the afternoon at the auditorium.
A little interesting note
Rookie of the Year, because he's wrestling so much on Pro. Of course he's the Rookie of the Year.
So it's a smart move by the young team.
Orion. Marcus Bagwell would probably do well working for a supermarket because he bags well.
Z-Man sent Slater in.
I'm sorry. You're right. Z-Man sent Slater in.
Tony, I'm a legend. I'm always right.
Collar and elbow tie-up, and now Slater sends Z-Man over.
Yes, this is before Bagwell and Scorpio were a team and Z-Man and Johnny Gunn were a team.
At the UIC Pavilion
by a few months.
Friday, September the 11th.
The smoothest coin person wrestling.
Look at that head twist.
No, he's got real good leverage on it. He's keeping the back of the head down. You know, keeping
Dick Slater wins me over immediately, having those tube socks hanging over the boots. My favorite foot look in wrestling.
And Randy Anderson, the referee assigned, gets a clean break as Slater goes back to have a word with Greg the Hammer Valentine. The classic case of two veterans against two youngsters here. We mentioned it before.
Oh, yeah. Well,
two youngsters. Tom Zink had been wrestling for 10 years at this point. That's a good question, No You Stick It. Can Greg warm up on the apron? Or does he have to be in the ring for 20 minutes? He should have done it like a tag gimmick, like maybe with like Honky or something. Where like they put a treadmill on the apron so he can warm up. And he's not in the ring. Slater and Valentine look like they could be cousins. They also look like they are like two middle-aged women who go to the bar together every Friday night. Yes, Justin, I did see that. Almost the entire end of the Drew Carey show is now available on Plex with almost all the music. Very excited. I need to dig into that. Thank you for reminding me. I did see that last week. That's awesome. Thank you, Justin. Hey, Geyser. Here's the thing about this Hammer, as old as he is here. We've seen much older Greg Hammer on these streams. Much older.
Moving and bobbing and weaving and hitting them ropes, getting them off guard. Don't try to wrestle this man. And there you go.
Back to the corner they go. It's back to a neutral corner. Valentine has the advantage here. Bagwell, as you said, should have used the speed. He's pinned in there now.
Should have used the speed. That speed that Marcus Bagwell is known for.
The knife edge and a chop. That's where you don't want to be against Greg Valentine.
No, that's why it was a mistake for Bagwell to try to out-wrestle him. Because here he is. He better start fighting.
Those flipper forearms, as some call them.
As Bagwell tries to fight his way out of it, reversal to a hammerlock. Good wrestling move that time.
See, that's what he's got to do, Tony. He's got to keep using that speed.
Greg Valentine, very smooth legs.
Don't let Valentine whip him up like this.
Either he didn't grow hair on his legs, or he spent a lot of time shaving them gams. They are smooth. Like not a one hair.
They are taking the measure of Bagwell right now. Double team. Two elbows that time.
No peach fuzz.
Valentine are on a roll here.
on them lower liquors. Why did I call them that? I don't know. Making up things. Dick Slater, like, I'm not selling your punches.
They've got the experience to do it. Ouch.
And they've both been World Tag Team Champions before.
Okay, they're going to town on this team now.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We don't have ring mats. The little square at ringside looks like the thing, like when you run the obstacle course on Double Dare, and you would have to, like, step on the square to get the flag to come down and get the gap to come down on you in some of the obstacles. That's what immediately came to mind when I saw that giant square that's taping down the wire.
And these two guys are not going to let up on Marcus Bagwell.
Imagine Dick Slater on Double Dare.
Swinging neck breaker. A cover one. Using a rope for leverage. One. Again. Here's the count. He got a two.
Almost. He was a little far away to put the leverage down, even with using the rope. He has to get over the man more.
Oh, well, that was right in the throat.
It's hard for these guys to get over the man. And they're booked as lower mid-carders.
Hanging on now as they go
a little bit of booking humor.
Bagwell slipped from behind using the quickness, but Hammer held on.
Oh, he missed the dreaded elbow drop.
Now the cover from Bagwell.
Did a cradle? Nope, did not cradle that head.
Valentine's out.
This was Dusty with oversight from Bill Watts. Oh! I always wanted to see Greg Valentine wrestle Ricky Choshu. I think they'd have a hell of a match. Just randomly came to mind, but I've always wanted to see Greg Valentine and Ricky Choshu.
It is tag team wrestling. Bagwell trying to get.
That's right, Mark Summers and Burt Reynolds on that episode of Leno. If you've never seen it, Mark Summers fucks around on the Tonight Show set, and Burt Reynolds ain't having any of it, and it's hilarious.
By the way, fans, Missy Hyatt is with us here this week. She'll be coming up a little bit later on to the midsection.
Why is Dick Slater no-selling every punch to the belly? Like, does beer just make it, like, rock hard? Like, I'm not a drinker, so mine is all, like, mashed potatoes.
I think he thought Bagwell was out more than he thought.
But he was in great position there, Larry, because the only thing he had to do was reach up and make the tag to the first man. Good position.
Yeah, Burt Reynolds seems like a guy who can hold his own.
That's the veteranness. Bagwell better start trying to make.
Like, not necessarily the strongest, but he's kind of crazy.
The veteran taking command of this match. But Bagwell, a lot of character, a lot of desire.
I'm just going to hold your foot here. Gently hold your foot up. Hey, Cecil Nix. We were just discussing that.
Once again by Slater and Valentine. Boy, what a great tag team they are.
We're not quite sure if Greg Valentine can warm up on the apron.
Coming up Friday, the 11th of September here in Chicago, the UIC Pavilion.
Oh, up. There we go.
Power move that time by Bagwell.
Hoping for a Canadian destroyer out of Dick Slater. Didn't quite work out. There we go. Tom Zink's in the ring. You get him too round up. He's going to slander Ole Anderson. All right, Hall, have a good night. Nice to have you here. That's awesome, Brian. Yeah, shout out J.D. Roth also.
And there's a save by Valentine. He saved it that time. And now here's Bagwell.
The vibrant red hair of 90s game shows. Sleeper hold. That's very random from the Z-Man.
And that would have been a disqualification had the referee seen it. Cover. 1, 2. It's over. They got him.
There we go.
Here are your winners, Chris Hammer, Valentine, and Dirty Dick Slater. Jake the Snake Roberts is next on WGN right now. WCW Magazine.
Yeah, this voiceover was specific for WGN. Chicago, the Chicago feed,
magazine.
And they were plugging house shows in New Orleans.
Ron Simmons is going to face when he defends his WCW World Heavyweight Championship.
Yes, Cecil, this is the era. Top rope rooms are banned. No mats on the floor.
It's ravishing Rick Rude, the U.S. Heavyweight title holder, the #1 contender to Simmons' crown, and it's all happening right here in Chicago, Friday, September 11th at the UIC Pavilion. Let's go now to the
he didn't mention Gary Juster. That's a shame.
Yes, Rick Rude, you want a shot at the heavyweight champion. You're the United States champion. You're in line to get a shot at me.
I'm disappointed Eric didn't mention Gary
I think
Juster.
sometimes you should have been a dancer. The way you
Maybe
get in the
he
room,
left the
ring
studio.
pressing around, moving your hips. Well, I plan to have more than your hips moving that night when you step in the square circle with me. I'm going to put your feet in motion and see how fast they can move. Getting out of that ring, getting away
that's
from
how
me,
I'm taking
you're gonna
that,
get your shot, and
right?
once
Like,
is all you get. I'm going to be on your
I mean, more than your hips moving, buddy.
Promoters have been trying so hard to put this match together, but it is done. It's on paper.
Yeah, they did put in an effort to
right
make
here in
it
Chicago,
to where
Friday
you
night, September 11th.
to where the top rope moves were actually dangerous. It's just they moved things back too far into the past. And yeah, if you went to the show at the UIC Pavilion, you get a fanny pack.
I'm Eric Bischoff, and I'll be back later on in the hour. We'll talk
I wonder
about
if,
more
like,
exciting action coming to the
Like they accidentally put like any of the wrestlers' loose fanny packs laying around the locker room into the pack that they were handing out. Some fan gets like Jake Roberts' fanny pack. They're like, close. What are all these bottles? What the f?
Weighing in at 258 pounds from Stone Mountain, Georgia, Jake the Snake.
Stone Mountain, Georgia, an all-time great hometown. And his very real hometown, too. But, like, if Jake Roberts wasn't from Stone Mountain, Georgia, where the hell would he be from?
Jake with his little bag of tricks, and he's got a bunch of them, believe me.
Ooh. Oh, he's wrestling the Italian Stallion. If you put ragu sauce on that snake, he'll eat it.
On his entrance song as well. It sounds like something.
If you don't know, Italian Stallion, shoot world record holder for eating spaghetti. What the fuck was that?
Yet, it is the end
What?
of the beginning.
Wait, was his entrance music just a promo? I mean, that's dope. If anybody's gonna use their voice, their speaking voice as entrance music, Jake Roberts should. Jake was in WCW for about 3 months. He was there from like August until I think early November, and they actually went on TV. I saw it. I saw a clip of it from Worldwide. They had the commentators go on TV and be like, "Hey, Jake Roberts is going into rehab. We hope the best for him." And they just didn't come back. Yeah, I think we did. We got Jake's inner monologue. Jake Roberts narrated his own entrance. Like my so-called life. Yeah, he's only on Halloween Havoc.
You can't let the snake get the advantage. He won't let go.
This is a week away from SummerSlam 92. A week away from I'm Fooked, Mr. Hitman. Jake's hair's got a lot of volume. Normally kind of stringy and wet down.
Well, it's definitely going to be wild and brutal. You can depend on that. Cactus Jack and Jake.
And I'm with you, Optimum Vision. I think these are the all-time best Jake Roberts tights.
In this hour on the Chicagoland Report, we'll hear from Jake
like that. We'll shove. We'll shove, Steve.
And now he wants Stallion to get up. He loves to hurt people.
Love that. Shout out Psycho Mike.
You can just see it when his opponent
This cowboy thing he's doing right now is hilarious.
Well, he's a very sick individual.
Shout out Mystery Wrestling. Go support them.
I think everybody does by now, especially Sting.
Have a Patreon. You can check out all their shows. Check out Mystery Wrestling on Patreon.
Sting has said on many occasions that Snake, I won't go away.
Jake must have gotten that Pantene from the ad sales team. Yes, Brian.
Standing clothesline and down goes Stallion.
And Jake goes like this.
All the opponents that Sting ever wrestled,
Rainmaker.
This is the man that can give him the most trouble because he knows Sting. Sting doesn't even know. Whoa.
Oh, He saw something.
The DDT and he walked away from it. Something happened.
Oh, I thought somebody was coming out. No, he just like freaked the fuck out.
And it's over. Here is your winner.
Jake whispers, "Sorry, brother, I saw some pink monkeys flying around."
We'll be talking with Jake the Snake. In the Chicagoland report.
Just did.
And let's take a look at it again, Larry.
Jake is a real tall man, and when he comes down, he can deliver.
Great analysis from Larry Zbyszko. Jake's a real tall man.
Stallion, how tall, brother?
And is he going to get the snake out of the bag or what?
Can't do that. It's a babyface thing at this point, Jake.
The referee doesn't want to do it, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Like, in order to be a heel putting snake on people, the snake's got to bite people.
Apparently, he's not going to do
See?
it.
Keep away. People want the snake. I think the Chris Colt acid match is either not on tape or it's so old the tape just doesn't exist. I've seen the dramatic reenactment.
Thanks, guys. There's been a lot of talk about the business deal between Paul E. Dangerously and the World Tag Team Champions, Doc and Gordy. Recently, both
I might do White Jake Roberts rules in the future. Got a few. Got a list I got. I might put them on there.
Bobby would handle the Steiner Brothers.
So what's the deal, Paul?
What the deal is exactly this. You see, Doc and Gordy have had no competition here in America. They are the World Tag Team Champions, and the only team that's been a
yeah, Norman Smiley's on the list already.
The Steiner Brothers.
We're going to do a Norman Smiley soon.
Titles from Bobby Eaton and Arn Anderson, and we never got our rematch because they lost the titles to Doc and Gordy. So we'd love to bust a Steiner's face just like that for the hell of it, but oh no, I'll tell you what we're going to do, Steiner Brothers. We're going to take the many yen that Doc and Gordy have offered to Bobby Eaton and Arn Anderson, and we're going to bust your faces and eliminate you from WCW so that you can never ever challenge them again.
Paul E. assured Doc and Gordy that when they returned, the Steiner Brothers would no longer be a problem. I feel the Steiners are in for a lot of trouble. Iron and Bobby
bless Missy Hyatt's heart, but I don't think there's ever been a wrestling personality that has made it more obvious that they're reading off of a teleprompter.
They are by breaking the arm of Larry the Cruncher Zbyszko.
Yeah, for those asking, this is why Larry Zbyszko's arm is in a
can
sling.
anyone really trust Paul E. Dangerously? I mean, if Arn and Bobby are successful in eliminating all the competition, then they become the competition. Dangerously just might have other plans in mind for Doc and Gordy.
I think, wasn't Silas Mason the guy that played Gordy in Iron Claw?
Champion Ron Simmons
Over Metal?
return bout with former champ Big Van Vader, and we'll have more WCW
Missy Hyatt,
in just a moment.
She emotes like a child actor. She's charming. I like it. The Chris Colt acid match is a 2000s indie band. Tracy Smothers.
Here we go, the world champ is here. And ladies and gentlemen, his opponent. He weighs in at 289 pounds and hailing from Warner Robins, Georgia. He's the WCW World Heavyweight Champion.
Yes, he is. And you know he's the world champion because, like we established before, they had a ceremony for him downstairs in the atrium at CNN Center, and Ted Turner sent a letter from his office in the same building. Could not be bothered to get in the elevator.
Or Missy did show you getting your arm broken. That has to be some painful memory.
Yeah, it's real painful memory. You know,
Okay, yeah, we got confirmation Silas Mason was Terry Gordy in the Iron Claw. That's what I thought. Yeah, he looks a lot like him.
I'll tell you next week about it. All right, so fans, make sure to tune in next week. Larry the Cruncher Zbyszko will tell you his plans for...
I always liked that WCW belt.
That's very interesting. As we see the world champion Ron Simmons set to go
I think it's a very underrated belt, that world title belt that Ron Simmons has.
Right there, Tony. And Tracy Smothers, look at him. He does well. This is a golden opportunity.
Also, I think I've said it on here before, but if I haven't, it is wild that people always thought Tracy Smothers was like small guy. He is huge. Like here, he's bigger than Ron Simmons. I think Ron's got more muscle on him, but Tracy's like more of a frame, you know?
Right here, Simmons, having the championship, he can afford to be a little more defensive.
Tracy's a big old dude.
On the other hand, Tracy Smothers, he's going to have to be 100% offensive to take this thing.
Yeah, Tracy could have a 20-minute match with anybody if they were okay with him grabbing the microphone. That's more later years, which it's entertaining for the most part as long as he didn't say slurs.
And he told me, and I was sitting with Ron Simmons when Vader beat.
Oh yeah, if you go back and watch these 90s shows, and it's like, here comes our light heavyweight division, and it's a guy that would be the third biggest man on any TV roster now. Here comes Scott Putski, WWF light heavyweight, traps up to here.
But he did. He picked him up. Whoa! And he caught Van Vader with the surprise of a lifetime.
Nick Patrick, our referee. All my homies hate Nick Patrick. What a shitty ref.
Some new developments between Ravishing Rick Rude and Nikita Koloff.
Very gently. Come on, Ron. Come on, Ron. Don't do that.
And you can tell Ron's such a focused athlete, not taking young Pistol Tracy very lightly because he's had a lot of success as Tracy.
Well, Ron's been around long enough, and any good.
It's not just because of the steroid stuff, which do not say nobody's on steroids. That is a blanket statement that does not fit. And it ain't just the guys that you think look like they're on steroids. Trust me. It's just big guys. The big framed guys aren't getting into wrestling anymore. For better, for worse, you can argue both ways.
And Tracy wasting his time on the outside. Ron going towards the referee, going towards the rope, stops the break. And once again, it's
a different type of human being got into wrestling.
It gives Smothers more time to think. What he's doing basically, he's trying to think, how am I going to get to Ron Simmons?
I think the advent of course, MMA, for one thing, of course, but also reality television and like trashy TV talk shows. Also, a lot of people that would have gotten into wrestling went off and did Springer. And of course, wrestlers also did Springer, but
Simmons is telling him, you want to wrestle? Get in the ring and wrestle. That's what a champ should do, right?
That's exactly right. Here he goes. There's a power slam.
Oh, power slam. I think the match is over.
1, 2, he wins.
Tracy's Smothers just did his retiree, 50-year-old man match on WCW TV.
And welcome to another edition of the WCW.
Yeah, some of those WWE college sports recruits, those NCAA recruits, some of those dudes are gigantic.
Number one contender, ravishing.
Don't know how many of them will make TV,
days, nights and day to put this match together. It's done. It's signed, sealed, and will be delivered right here in Chicago.
I was worried. Eric Bischoff hadn't blinked. He just blinked. Okay, good.
Pavilion. You're also going to see Sting and Nikita Koloff teaming up to face Jake the Snake Roberts and Cactus Jack.
I will never forget September 11th, but it's because they keep plugging it.
CEO of the Dangerous Alliance. His man, Stunning Steve Austin, faces Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
Shout out Obafemi. Obafemi rules.
Steamboat, let's just acknowledge one thing. I'm a managerial genius. There
Look at the color on Paulie's suit jacket.
Number 1, make yourself a top contender. Number 2, win a non-title match. Number 3, then you win.
Yeah, no, you stick it. I'm worried. Gary Juster might have called in sick.
Stunning Steve Austin's world TV title, but you still haven't beaten him in a non-title match, and this will be your one chance.
And this,
to prove
Paulie just
worthy
slip into a southern accent there.
All right, we're going to hear from Ricky the Dragon Steamboat in just a few moments, but I want to take this opportunity to remind you there are great seats still available, but you must act quickly.
You must act quickly, or we will kill Gary Juster. He's off camera over there in a cage.
And for the first time in history, right
we will feed him to dogs if you do not act now.
Now, let's go to Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. As you're about to hear, he is ready, willing, and more than able to face Austin.
You know something, Paul Lee, you're a man.
I've never heard anybody being ready and able but not willing.
World television champion.
Never 2 of the 3. It's always all 3.
If you look back on the track record, you see that the matches.
I could see that Paulie's purple suit jacket was definitely giving Nicholson Joker vibes. I agree for
situation right now. Austin, you say that I've got to prove myself, beat somebody. Well, I'll tell you something right now. This dragon just might as well start with you.
Wrestling fans, this is just one of the 8 great matches coming to you on this explosive card that is also going to see Sting teaming up with Nikita Koloff. Their opponents, Jake the Snake Roberts and Cactus Jack. That is going to be a war you don't want to miss.
What did UIC stand for, by the way?
Dustin Rhodes.
I feel like I should know that.
Hammer, he'll be rocking UIC Pavilion. You're also going to see
maybe University of Illinois, Chicago?
Returns to the Windy City, and every kid age 14 and under that shows up at UIC Pavilion.
It's just the kids. I just heard that. That's bullshit. If I'm an adult and I bring my kids to a WCW show, I should get
all the action coming your way.
I should get a fanny pack.
September 11th.
All right, I was right. Awesome. Look at me being smart. Call for your copy of the WCW magazine, W.C.W.
Recently with Ravishing Rick Rude and Nikita Koloff at Atlanta's Omni. Medusa barred from the building, but she showed up anyway in a security officer's outfit.
I tell you, I've been associated.
She showed up in a security officer's outfit.
And I wouldn't trust them.
She went to Party City.
The Sears Tower.
I tell you what, let's take a look at what happened at the Omni. Ravishing Rick Rude and Nikita Koloff, it was a tremendous battle. Medusa.
Let's look at what happened at the Omni. You know, those house shows where stuff happens, not like your little bullshit show, Chicago. Hammer. They should have. They should have held somebody hostage from December to December.
And I don't know if he's capable of being able to do that. He may have to try to knock Rude out.
Everybody has a bum arm at this point.
Oh, we've got two.
You can see Shivani, he's having a hard time holding the cover with only one good arm.
Ooh, almost a brainbuster looking thing there. Didn't quite get him over.
1, 2, it's not over. Oh, I thought it was over there.
I'm obsessed with this family in the front row. Like, I want a documentary on those people. Those, like, 6 people in the front row. They're totally a family. All came together to the Omni. Sat in the front row. Holy shit. Rudrick's dad dated Rick Rude's sister in high school. Was that the sister that ended up being like his manager for a while? There was a period, I think maybe in World Class, where his sister was his valet. And it was kind of weird because he always acted like his valets were his girlfriends. So it kind of gave weird vibes. The Russian pickle. Nope. I felt like somebody should have called it the Russian pickle in a promo. He's gonna. Oh, he picked him up by the balls and dropped him on the rope. Why wouldn't the ref DQ him? Because, oh, it's Randy Anderson. He's not Nick Patrick. Maybe Nick Patrick, like, made the rule book. It seriously grabbed him by the balls and lifted him up onto the rope. Oh, police brutality. That is awesome, Roger. Okay, Grandma in the front row's pissed off. Yeah, we can still blame Nick Patrick for that. He's senior ref. I love that animal, that tiger noise. Wait a minute. Why didn't she just hit him with the giant baton? She had like a 4-foot or 3-foot nightstick in her hand. And she's like, nope, I will kick him.
Well, maybe, yeah, that's Medusa for crying out loud.
I'm not sure Schiavone. Anyway,
the Rude Awakening.
The Rude Awakening. And there goes security out the door.
All Medusas are bad. I agree. Well, I mean, yeah.
The U.S. heavyweight title.
Yeah, barred from the building, huh? So there you have it. Nikita Koloff is focused to become U.S. heavyweight champion, but Rude wants the world title.
Well, of course he does, and that is the ultimate. Rick Rude wants the Holy Grail.
Still to come, the Chicagoland.
Larry Zbyszko's kind of, his shirt's kind of giving like Hot Topic vibes, which is weird for this time period. Bagwell's family.
Everybody, Tony Schiavone, the Cruncher, Larry Zbyszko.
There we go. Chicagoland report. Why did they pick that as the graphic, the green screen graphic?
We talked about Ron Simmons, the impending matchup.
You need to put like a little like half-crescent sun behind them.
And you know, it's going to be one
84
brutal
degrees
match because I
sunny.
know Rick Rude, and I know how bad he wants to be the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. And of course, on the other side of the coin, we've got Ron Simmons, who just captured that gold. I mean, this is the epitome of Ron Simmons' life. And this is going to be a match.
This is the epitome of Ron Simmons' life.
Cactus Jack and Jake the Snake Roberts against Sting and Nikita Koloff. Let's hear from Jake the Snake.
Brian, another man's a lunge break, please. Okay.
What are you trying to do? Where are you headed? For you to know where I'm headed, you have to know where I've been. And you haven't a clue with that. But I want to ask you this, Chicago. The Windy City.
Is he just reciting his entrance music?
No hot air. No,
God, that would be so good if the house show promo was the Family Matters intro.
The foolish thing for him to do is to continue this silly quest of wanting revenge. Because it's a big mistake. Because when you play with a snake, sooner or later you're going to get bit. And when you get bitten by a snake,
that's what my mom always told me.
On anyone. Now, Sting, didn't your mother tell you?
Also that I'd go blind.
Never to talk to a stranger. Don't take candy from old men. Huh? Well, that's what you're talking about here. Things that go bump in the night, what's under the bed, what's in the closet.
Is he warning Ron Simmons that he's a child molester? What
Think about it, Sting, before you make that mistake. Because with me, you don't get many mistakes. Only one.
It is going to be a great matchup. Jake the Snake Roberts and Cactus Jack against Sting and
the
Nikita Koloff. Friday, September the 11th,
dudes in strange unmarked vans.
You know, I can't help thinking this, Tony. I know Jake, and he's got more in that bag of tricks than a couple of pythons. The animosity between the Snake and Sting, there's something more involved here with Cactus Jack's presence.
Imagine Jake Roberts listening to Rick Springfield. Like, yeah, these
like
lyrics
Jack
I think are going to work
because they're both
for this
nuts.
promo.
So Sting and Koloff are going to have a real wild night here. And I expect anything can happen.
Back to school night, all kids 14 and under will receive a free WCW hip pouch. Friday, September the 11th, 8 o'clock.
Imagine going back to school and being the kid that has the WCW fanny pack.
Look for Rick Rude to do
Don't
anything
bring me any of this hip pouch bullshit. It's a fanny pack.
Anything in the world.
Fans, when we come back right here on WGN, we'll take a look at the Steiners and their ongoing battle.
And nobody calls them hip pouches. Friday, September 11th at the UIC Pavilion. I wish I had Jesse.
There's no question that Doc and Gordy want to get rid of the Steiner brothers. We're going to show you why. Recently, Doc and Gordy have sent Arn Anderson and Beautiful Bobby after the Steiners.
Let me tell you something, how I feel about Beautiful Bobby Eaton and Arn Anderson. I hope that they get in there and Doc and Gordy, I can't say it on TV.
Well, I'm sure you can.
I think he got confused because Doc and Gordy are on Bobby and Arn's
and why,
side.
in fact, Doc and Gordy want to eliminate Rick and Scott Steiner.
Wait, fanny pack is trademarked?
With the commentary.
I mean, good on whoever trademarked it, getting that money. Courtesy Saturday night, W.C.W. Saturday night. I love that hallway. One of my favorite entrance sets is just that hallway from center stage. Mike Thor, 2 for 2. Got great head of hair on that dude. Beautiful head of hair. That's a head of hair you push. Why is this guy doing enhancement work? Holy shit, Scott Steiner's huge. Like, he was always huge. And he would get bigger. Oh, this great camera shot where you can see nothing behind Doc and Gordy. Oh yeah, there were There are documented stories of wrestlers leaving the building if they saw their names across from Rick and Scott doing job duty. Also Vader.
Pick up there. Guy trying to turn him for a Boston crab. Sid ties up the legs there.
Scott Steiner in 97, I think, is his biggest. Like Big Papa Punk, he got somehow more ripped. But 97 Steiner is like, pound for pound, his biggest era. Like his... He just got out of control.
In Bay City, Michigan. About the 4th or 5th grade. Right hand by big brother Rick Steiner, and he is that.
What's the hidden cost of a car? 8,000.
Indeed, if you have the opportunity to see that rematch between Williams and Gordy and the Steiners, whatever you do, don't miss that one.
There's Mike Thor. He's gonna come in and be a little more bald.
Only without the automobiles. They'll put their bodies on the line when they meet for wrestling's richest prize.
They could have at least had them like stand off a little bit more to the side, so you get like a dead-on shot of the ring instead of having that ring post there blocking everything. Oh, Jimmy Savile. Oh no.
It may be Frankensteiner time, and it got him up.
Oh shit! Mike Thor just took that on his forehead. I think Mike Thor might have been the guy. There was one time in this era where Scott does the Frankensteiner and the guy doesn't flip, and then he fucking hurt him. Oh god. Oh shit. But no, like Thor doesn't go with his legs, and so when Scott Steiner like comes down like in a kneeling position, like Thor came down chin first on Steiner's hip and knocked himself out. Like yeah, I feel like you either take the Frankensteiner as like more of like a Rana, like you just do like the roll through, or you just die. Like, you know who took a really good Frankensteiner was Mike Enos. Like to the point where in the WWF, if you notice, they had a lot of matches against masked assassins or masked shadows, and it was always Mike Enos under the mask. Because nobody else could take the frickin' Frankensteiner in the WWF.
WCW magazine. Earlier on in the hour, we made the announcement. Right here in Chicago, Friday night, September 11th, 8 o'clock bell time, Chicago's UIC Pavilion. The new World Heavyweight Champion, Ron
as opposed
Simmons, will
to
defend
Cheyenne,
that
Wyoming's UIC
the
Pavilion.
#1 contender, the United States Heavyweight Champion, ravishing Rick Rude. Let's go now to the CEO of the Dangerous
That's definitely
Alliance,
WCW main
Paul E.
event on that
Dangerously,
center monitor.
for his comments about this upcoming
Eric
World title
Bischoff,
bout.
Inception.
Ron Simmons, you had a dream. You fulfilled it. You became the heavyweight champion of the world.
I gotta say, for Paul Heyman, this is a good
about to
tan.
be burst because you're going to step into the ring with ravishing.
He would have
Rick Rude,
periods
a
where he
man
would
that
get
has
real
done
pasty.
Every single thing he's ever claimed that he would do.
Yeah, there's a reason why nobody does
take
the
your title
Frankensteiner
away from you.
anymore.
Ron Simmons, the All-American.
I think it's because it's
You lived your
impossible.
dream, but now it's time for you to wake up to reality.
Like, everybody's like, well, just do
Eight great
Ronis.
matches on this explosive card. You're
Because,
also
you know,
going to
you
see
can
Flying Brian
physically
get a shot
do
at the
that.
WCW light heavyweight
A
crown.
Frankensteiner.
Nikita Koloff teaming up.
There's one guy who did it,
Roberts
and, like,
and Cactus Jack. Ricky the Dragon
nobody
Steamboat
could take it
battles out with
safely.
stunning Steve Austin.
Because
The natural
it's,
Dustin Rhodes on the
like,
card. Big Barry
impossible.
Windham, Van Hammer, the Z-Man, Dirty Dick Slater, Greg the Hammer, Valentine, and a whole lot more. And every kid age 14 and under that shows up at UIC Pavilion receives a free WCW hip pouch.
And
I'm
if you
Eric
get
Bischoff.
one with
Don't go
empty
away.
pill bottles in it, bring it to the merch stand and cash it in for a Sting watch.
And we'll talk talk about next week's matchup, but another comment about Ron Simmons and the challenge now issued by Ravishing Rick Rude. They will get it on Friday, September the 11th, right here in Chicago.
Well, you know, it's like we predicted, Tony. They're going to be coming at Ron Simmons from everywhere. Rick Rude, #1 contender, and he probably deserves it.
Yes.
You know, he's an egotistical, maniac type of guy. He's a dangerous man in the ring. He's got the Medusa sleeking around.
Yeah, he sure does.
He's got the Medusa.
I don't know. It's going to be interesting because Ron Simmons, you know, he's a big, tough guy.
You know,
but so is Rick Rude.
Okay, next week,
if she ever were
challenge
heel in the
has been made by
WWF and
Cactus
managed
Jack
somebody,
Dustin Rhodes one-on-one
you know that
over
Bret
here
Hart
next
would
week
call
on
her
Main
the
Event.
Medusa.
Dustin Rhodes seems like somebody's got a little insecurity problem, yeah. Standing in the shadows of your famous daddy, somebody's a little bit insecure. So how do you want to prove yourself? By walking up and taking a bite out of the fattest apple on the tree. But Dustin Rhodes, natural, you take a bite out of Cactus Jack, and you'll find the taste is very foul.
Yeah, there's a big difference between Poison Ranas and Destroyers and the Frankensteiner. All right, we gotta. That was the end of that episode. Again, whoever edited these was not me. Cut those real brief, real sudden. Let's go ahead and go to the last episode we're watching tonight. Episode number 3. I forgot to take that off. Again, the QR code doesn't work.
You'll be looking straight in your
We don't
eyes.
really have that on there.
It all happens in a very short time, but when that bell rings, it's going to seem like a long time for you.
Cactus Jack later on
Look at that
WCW
Jack.
Pro. You're gonna
If
have to
Dustin's
face the
working
natural
Wembley
Dustin
on
Rhodes.
Sunday, he
And
needs
after
to
I
wear
step in
that.
that ring and look you face to face in the eye, you're gonna know that I do mean business, and no crazy man is gonna beat me up.
Like, you know he still has it.
Brought to you in part by Jolly Rancher
Brought to you by
Candy.
Jolly Rancher.
The great taste of fruit squared. New triple play.
That's what they call
baseball
Johnny.
cards
That's
from
what they call
Don
Johnny
Russ.
B. Bad when he's
Triple
wearing
play
that
means
cowboy
collecting
outfit.
fun.
Triple
You heard
play.
comments from Dustin Rhodes and Cactus Jack, and hi everybody.
Hey,
Tony
Brenticus,
Schiavone, the
glad to have you
Cruncher,
here.
Dustin Rhodes and Cactus
Still got a
Jack
full episode of
one-on-one
this to
later on
watch,
in
so
the hour.
you've got plenty
It's
of
going to be a real
time.
match to see. I mean, what a contradiction in wrestling style.
He's
It's
selling
like
the black
Michael
ring gear.
Jordan
Good. It's
standing there
bad
with the
memories
golf
for
club.
him.
Fans, we're also going to hear from
Bad
Ron Simmons, the
Mojo
world
Dojo.
champion, prepared to do battle against Ravishing Rick Rude Friday, September the 11th in the UIC Pavilion. But right now, standing by Sting, some comments directed at one, Jake the Snake Roberts.
Directed at him.
Well, you know, you try and
That
help on a
is
friend.
very
Nikita
unique
Koloff.
face paint for
I was
Sting.
trying to help him out. Not minding my own business, but helping a friend.
Got like a
And
star
out
coming
from
off the
nowhere
top.
Comes a new face to
Interesting.
World Championship Wrestling. Seems
Like
like
he's having-
every new face
he's having
wants to
some
come after
fun.
the Stinger. Maybe it's because I'm the measuring stick here. I don't know. And I don't care. I just know that it's Jake the Snake.
This was the
Jake, you're new
rejected Crow
face.
Sting paint. It's like, yeah, I
You
can't do
think
this star thing
that you
every
know
week,
me?
so
I
I
don't
paint
think
my
you
whole
do.
face white.
You say you're going to do this, and you say you're going to do that. You want to roll into the ring when I'm trying to help a friend.
Reciting
You
his
wanna give
entrance
me a
music.
couple of DDTs.
Say you're gonna do
Think
this.
that's gonna make me
Say you're
quit?
gonna do that.
Do you think
Big as a bull.
Snake is going to make me quit? You think a couple of chairs are going to make me quit?
Scorpio is the measuring
I'm not
stick.
going to give up.
Nobody.
Jake, and I'm not going to quit.
Nobody meets
because I'm the guy that they said couldn't come back when I blew out my knee, but I came back, and I'm coming.
Pretty sure everybody
for
said you were
next time.
coming back. I love you, Sting. I think that was a lie.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest, it is set for one fall. Introducing first from Macon, Georgia.
I miss the days where like a babyface would come out and the fans would just flock. Like all these little kids would flock to the front. Can't do that anymore because, you know, safety.
All right, the one and only Johnny B. Bad in our first match here on Chicago's very own Channel 9.
Derek, thank you for the sub.
Go back up to Tony
Much
Gillis.
appreciated tip of the cap. Thank you. Joe Kazana. Oh, Fortmaster's gifted subs. Thank you, Fortmaster. Very generous of you.
A couple of weeks on the 11th of September, a Friday night.
Big Joe Kazana, thank you. Joe Kazana, by the way, still involved in the NWA. I know. I believe Over Metal was bringing that up earlier. Yeah, big thank you to Fortmaster for gifting them subs.
I want to say a very special hello to all of our great fans who've been calling.
I think this is the most subs I've ever had at one time. 51.
As a matter of fact, coming up in a couple of days this Monday, I'll be reminiscing about
Thank
some of the
you
great
so
memories
much.
I've had.
You've all been great
being
with
in
the subs
World
lately.
Championship Wrestling. Many of them have to do
Bring
with the
memories.
Cruncher Larry Zbyszko.
I have many great memories myself.
Boy, well, they've been great. And as we celebrate...
The little ding is on a delay there.
Johnny B. Bad uses his quickness. Joe Casano, who's a very rough and rugged athlete out of Tennessee. He's a fine veteran. He has to really combat the quickness. Go behind, gut wrench takedown.
Yes. Little Richard mixed with Chuck Berry because WCW. They couldn't find any Little Richard sound alike stuff in the library.
I put my money on Bad.
Johnny B. Bad loves to have a great time with the fans.
We got a hype train.
An immensely popular athlete and certainly one of the top contenders to Brad Armstrong's light heavyweight title try.
As Ice Train used to say in promos.
Great chain wrestling there. And he takes it down once again with an arm drag. And one more time comes up with an arm bar.
You go to tie up with Johnny B. Bad and he's not there, you're on your back. Look at the way he's got his arm behind the man's elbow. That's where you want to keep that pressure.
Keeping the pressure on, that's exactly what he's doing. He goes to the full arm drag and twist and a reversal. Nice move by Kazana. Fireman's carry, pick up and a takeover. And he goes right back to the arm once again.
Yeah, right back to the same hole. He's got the pressure on right. Forearm behind the elbow. In fact, if you can really...
Thank you, Fartmaster. I try to fill at least 2 hours. And on some of these shows that don't have commercials, it's easier just to do 3 episodes. So, very happy. Very happy to do that.
Of course, Arn Anderson and Beatable Bobby like to do that. Larry, you know all
they're
about
good
that.
at it.
Elbow right to the face.
The enhancement guy.
And Kazana goes down. So Johnny B. Bad.
Yeah, Brian, to answer the enhancement guy's Joe Kazana. Long time like Tennessee dude. And he's promoting one of the new NWA territories right now for old William Patrick Corgan. Oh, Piney. Ed Leslie's just gonna send you some papers for that one, buddy.
High knee, and that should be the prelude to the left hand. Got him behind the head that time.
I should.
And knocked him right out.
I'll throw it in the chat, actually. Be Clerk for Dark. Digital tip jar. Again, I don't have it up on the screen because a lot of folks said they watch on their phones and QR codes do not work. But I will throw the link in the chat if anybody feels the need and doesn't want to mess with subs or bits or anything like that. You can use Linktree link I just threw in the chat. Throw me a few bucks. But again, you don't have to. I do this for the love of the game, love the business.
Magazine fans, make your plans now. Friday, September 11th, 8 o'clock bell time, UIC Pavilion. You are going to see Ron Simmons, the WCW World's Heavyweight Champion, meet the #1 contender to that title. That's right. Ravishing Rick Rude, the United States Heavyweight Champion, has got the match that he's been wanting. And now you're going to see it right here in the Windy City. Let's go down to Paul E. Dangerously.
Yeah, the 90s were a wild time where you could just punch a guy in the back of the head. Oh, that's my finish.
Ron Simmons, you had a dream. You fulfilled it. You became the heavyweight champion.
Oh, that link is wrong. Okay, sorry.
Unfortunately, my man, your bubble is about to be burst because you're going to step into the ring with Ravishing Rick Rude, a man that has done every single thing he's ever claimed that he would do. Now he's claiming he's going to take your title away from you. Ron Simmons, the All-American. You lived your dream.
I would do this stream for a hot dog and a handshake. I'd do it for a hot dog and a little baggie of fries.
Ravishing Rick Rude made it clear from the very beginning that he felt he was the athlete that deserved the shot at Big Van Vader back in Baltimore when Ron Simmons got the opportunity and became the WCW World's Heavyweight Champion. Well, the match is signed, it's sealed, and it's going to be delivered right here.
It's going to be delivered. Hey, it's not delivered yet. It might not even be official. Why are we promoting it?
14 and under receive a free WCW hip pouch. I'm Eric Bischoff, and I'll be back later on in the hour to talk about 8 more of the exciting matches coming your way Friday, September 11th.
Imagine the unofficial WCW fan club. Like it's just a guy collecting little kids' addresses.
Contest, it is set for one fall. Introducing first from Palm Beach, 229 pounds, Scotty Flamingo. Well, as the former light heavyweight champion, Scotty Flamingo makes his way in. A lot of fans have been wondering
Scotty
about how
Flamingo.
they can get a free WCW merchandise catalog. It's very simple. You can call 404
This is when Scott Levy saw an episode of A Different World. and then went to the movies, watched Encino Man, and was like, hey, here's my gimmick. Rex Cooper, looking like 74 modern indie guys all thrown together into one.
That's his style, Larry. Style.
I think the chat is the unofficial WCW.
Look at that peace sign he's got on him. For crying out loud, didn't that go out with the 60s?
Is the unofficial WCW
As a kid, I remember
fan
I'm taking my
club.
stuff off.
All right, Scotty Flamingo set to go. In this event, like we talked about, Scotty Flamingo, former light heavyweight champion, lost the title.
Look at those tights.
Of course, Brad Armstrong, after
Little,
winning
like,
it from
early
Flying Brian, he
Yokozuna.
goes right to the arms. He is a fine wrestler, very aggressive. I know you like that type of wrestler.
Well, you have to be aggressive to be
Yeah, the
a
Dwayne
success.
Wayne
He is aggressive.
sunglasses
He did
were
have
a look.
light heavyweight
Definitely.
championship.
Oh!
He is very quick. So, you know,
Oh, Rex
I like to
Cooper
feel
took
that
one
Scotty
hell of a hip
Flamingo
toss
versus
there.
Brad Armstrong would be a super light heavyweight match.
It would be great.
Rex Cooper's skull is
Puts on with a
very
leg lock, trying
impressive.
to take him down. Picks up an
Oh,
and shows
shit.
tremendous strength that time. 2 count, taking Cooper down.
That's a Blue Thunder. Fuck you.
Very good. He's riding the man out. He's making, look at, the man went to the ropes because he couldn't get out, still gave him a shot. Get off.
Thank you,
Nastiness
Jonathan.
there.
A lot of nastiness. As a matter of fact, Nick Patrick, one of the top officials in World Championship Wrestling, with a warning to the former champ. Sending Cooper in, goes to the knee. Cooper hooks him 1, 2, and he almost beat him with a...
You just call him Mini Cooper?
Oh, but he ran right into the drop kick, and I mean Scotty Flamingo.
Tony's thinking more about that rental car he got
I'll tell
than
you,
the matches.
Cooper pulled a beautiful move out right there and got it.
Dude, those old wrestling magazines with the pin pal sections are creepy. Wrestling Magazine on Twitter posts a lot of screenshots of those, and it's all either like 8-year-old boys or 60-year-old men.
Scotty Flamingo continues to grind away on that arm of Cooper.
You know, I see some characteristics that, you know, that are reasons why Flamingo was a champion. He stays on the man. He's being
Sean,
really
holy
aggressive.
crap. Thank you so much, pal. Very generous tip. I just got the notification.
He's causing Cooper.
Too kind, my friend. Thank you so much for the tip.
Cooper getting out of it nicely, but Scotty Flamingo counters, taking him down. They grabbed him by the face.
Yeah, Scott Levy for a long time actually did have his pulse on what was cool and hip.
Underneath the chin with his hand. Here you go. Here he's going into a guillotine.
Oh, look at that.
And Wazzy 1, 2, and got him.
No, he didn't. It's a 2 count.
Coming up next, a recent battle between Ricky
The WCW Pro Chicago screw job. Rex Cooper was done for a 2. Yeah, they're not going to show a replay because they know they fucked up there. Rex Cooper got screwed. I say we do a rematch.
He's been making
Nick
trips to
Patrick.
many children's hospitals and meeting with many civic leaders about the urban problems
And you're too
facing
kind,
our cities today. He certainly is. He is a champion in and out of the
Hi,
ring.
I'm Missy Hyatt.
And then there's
And
Big
this
Van Vader.
is
The former champion
my
has been making
teleprompter.
no excuses about his loss to Simmons. As a matter of fact, he has become even more terrifying. Just recently, he stormed the ring during a match involving Marcus Alexander.
He stormed the ring
Bagwell
during
and
a
Bob
match.
Starr.
Can
And
you
right
believe
now, both
they
men,
had a match
he
at a
is
wrestling
angry and
show?
ready for a
What the
rematch.
fuck?
So here's a word of warning to Ron Simmons. Be sure while you take time to visit with all the people who love you, don't forget the task ahead. Big Van Vader knows what it takes
Like, I've
to
seen
win the
better
world
acting
title.
at a
Just ask
like a
Sting.
7th grade
Our new
presentation
world
of
champion
Annie.
needs to keep his ducks in a row when it comes to the rematch.
Yeah, PJ brought up, shout out to the
And next week, a
WCW
report on
feed
the
channel on
NWA tournament
YouTube.
in Japan. And we'll have more
That person has a bunch of
WCW
like
action in a moment.
crystal clear videos of WCW like satellite feeds from Nitro and Thunder. Really cool stuff. Like you said, like mic checks, and, like pre-tape bloopers.
Champions on Nationwide TV. One of the matches, no disqualification for the World Television title, studying Steve Austin against Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
Yes, you know, we've got a video coming up showing the frustration that has mounted in the career of Ricky Steamboat here in WCW.
Pin pal looking for teenagers into wrestling and
Let's
wrestlers.
take
Right,
a look
B.
at what Larry's talking
Zumhoff.
about. Video footage,
U.S.
Ricky Steamboat
Penitentiary.
against stunning Steve Austin recently.
Larry, this comes from WCW
Steve Austin throwing some
Saturday night.
Hashimoto kicks
And a
there.
recent matchup involving Austin, the
His
champion,
knees are very
Ricky the
bare.
Dragon Steamboat, the challenger. We
He
need
would
to
later
know
go on to wear
Steamboat's
all of the
ribs
accessories on his
heavily taped,
knees.
heavily bandaged right there because of a broken rib sustained back on July 12th.
Yeah, and, you know, with the cartilage between the ribs and wrestling, you know that really Steamboat probably shouldn't be in here right now, Tony. Sometimes pride or whatever it takes over our common sense.
Nick Patrick with a warning, but Austin is relentless, and everyone knew Austin would do this. Go right to the ribs.
Like the way,
and he is wailing away, so to speak.
The camera kind of has like a Vaseline look to it. Like, you know, where they used to rub Vaseline on the lenses back in the day to make it look real glamorous and glossy. Like, it's so humid in there in center stage.
That way, because you know the man's going to go after what, you know, is taped up.
Right.
Unfortunately, in Steamboat's case, you only have one midsection and ribs are in them.
By the way, get hard, stay hard. I keep, every time I look at your username, I read it as Gethard, and I mark out a little bit.
The U.S. Heavyweight Championship World Tag Title. He has been the World Heavyweight Champion. But he is now
Ricky Steamboat, very sweaty. Said it before. I love back in the day when wrestlers would get real sweaty. Not in like a making me horny way, just it makes them look like they're having a real struggle. Wrestlers these days have too good of cardio.
Guys like Austin with that
doing 30 minutes, all these cool moves.
You know what they're going to do.
Barely breathing.
You can't be Mr.
Like
Nice
Duncan
Guy
Sheik.
in the sport for money.
And right now,
Gethard didn't. I think Gethard lost that gig.
Want to remind the fans, the match coming up on Clash of the Champions.
I think like during the pandemic they used them, and then they lost them, and then they stopped doing it because like they had to do it all via Zoom. And
I'd like to sneak in the back of that building.
And it was just weird. It was like Chris Gethard doing Zoom calls with like Nikolai Volkov.
Pocket knife and accidentally
And it wasn't the vibe they were going for.
Speaking of being very vicious.
Hey Justin, you're not being annoying. Absolutely not. But hey, if you are heading out, have a good night. Hope to see you back next week, bub.
Doing one thing, and that is working.
Hell yes, Cecil. I'm glad to hear you're bringing back the tradition of the real sweaty wrestling.
Brilliant game plan. There's a saying in life.
I love a good sweaty wrestling.
So if Heat Man's got a pair of busted
right,
ribs,
the ribbies.
That's what you're going to work on. That's where you have him. That's his weakness. Watch this.
Hooking Steamboat is Austin, picks him up, and the vertical suplex from the outside in.
Man, I know how that feels, and when your ribs are broke, you just might as well give it up.
1, 2, and almost got a 3 count.
Hell yeah, me too,
one of
bud.
the attributes of Steamboat,
Gethard rules. Lose
Steamboat
bell.
hasn't had the killer instinct. But one thing Steamboat has always had, and that is the heart, the will.
Great punches being thrown here. Lost art. I hate to sound like one of these old guys on a podcast. I love me a good lockup, and I love me a good punch.
Wrestling matches, especially when you're in pain, your ribs are broke, and you know Steamboat's in trouble, and that's all there is to it.
Steamboat's in trouble
because he wasn't vicious enough off the beginning.
If you put like
even a vicious
Larry Zbyszko's voice
hurt from a blow to the ribs like that,
and combine it with Missy Hyatt's delivery, you have the Vanessa Bayer child actor character from SNL, Weekend Update.
Yeah, well, forget Breeze at number 1, but stretching is exactly what he's doing. He's popping when you.
I don't know what happened to Ken Taker. I hear from him every once in a while on Twitter.
And all the cartilage between the ribs.
Couldn't get him up to Steamboat, but Austin has no problem getting
the UFC did ruin a lot of stuff for like wrestling.
And Austin's not going to let up either.
Like we figured out like what actually hurts, and it's like, oh, I can't just sit here and hold your arm for 3 minutes.
Once again, fans, this comes to you.
And we all go, it's a real hold. The arm's going to snap.
And a 2 count that time from Austin.
You know, Steamboat's got hard. He won't give up, but he better pull something out of his bag of tricks.
No! Steamboat got the knee up, and that courage that I talked about, that heart and desire coming through now. A man who can barely bring in enough air to keep the match going. is fighting to the end here against stunning Steve Austin, but Austin is relentless.
Exactly. You can't say punch.
He's hitting Austin right smack.
You can't do that because we've been
now,
taught.
The referee, I don't know if the referee's not seeing that, but basically that's an illegal move.
Chops, he is on the rope, and a warning from Nick Patrick.
We've been taught what it looks like when two people actually throw punches.
Oh, telegraphed that bad.
Stuck the head down, enabling Austin to make the cover one. He's got the rope to the foot, and Nick Patrick was quick to see that. Good work by the referee. And now,
he's going right back to the rib, right back to the rib. Let's not have Steamboat breathe. Let's keep that pain.
Yeah, that's irksome.
No, in Austin, I'm sure he'd like to break another rib right there.
Absolutely, it's a gut wrench.
And there are wrestlers that have some great looking kicks, and they just throw 70 of them per match. Just throw the one real good one.
He's squeezing down as he's extending his leg.
Yeah, Steve Austin didn't have a lot of hair. Like, you kind of can see here why he gave up the hair, but it took him way too long to give it up. Like another 3 years after.
Here in Chicago, the UIC Pavilion, tickets on sale. The box office and all Ticketmaster locations. More on that still to come in the magazine at the end of this matchup.
Keep it flat, or you're breaking the hole.
And you
keep
heard
it
Nick
flat.
Said, keep it flat, or you have to break the hole.
Yeah, Patrick,
and you never hear commentators talk about educated hands, but like there were wrestlers that boxed.
I mean, he's
like Johnny B. Bad. Educated hands.
Nick Patrick, tremendous referee, and right now, Ricky Steamboat once again, he is getting out of that leg scissor maneuver by high impact blows to the head. Desperation move it was. And up him up again. How much more can Steamboat
Yeah, that like
on the ribs?
early 95 look that we've seen on here,
Got the knees up.
where he like, I'm gonna grill out this part, and like his hairline goes like diagonal at one point. It's so weird.
Kick to the ribs.
Bless his heart.
Steamboat now going to the ribs himself.
It's rough, brother.
Even the simplest of blows by Steamboat have to hurt. Steamboat again. Here we go with the Irish whip. He goes.
Yeah, I can't imagine the timeline where Brent doesn't leave WWF in '97 and sticks around.
That has got to hurt Steamboat.
Like, I can't imagine what he would have been doing.
1, 2, got a 2 count with a hook.
He went for it, but he can't pick him up. He's got this.
Rolled him up again and gets the 2 count.
He's got to do wrestling moves. He's got to out-slick him.
Steamboat really had him going here with great wrestling maneuvers.
It's always, it's funny, the chronic WWF run, because it's like, the way they tell it, Undertaker brought them in, and then Undertaker had a match with them on a pay-per-view that he got for them, and then Undertaker went out of his way to shit on them, and then Undertaker got them fired.
If he's going to use that leverage, he couldn't hold him.
Like, somewhere along the way,
I'd
have to think a second person had input.
Game plan has been very obvious for Austin in this one. Steamboat reversed it and missed the backhanded shot. Oh, they collided head first. Both men, foreheads butting together. Now, look at Paul.
Good
Lee.
old Mark from Texas.
Here's the desperation we talked about. Getting the attention of the referee for a purpose. And
that reminds me, shout out Dennis Knight. I brought this up Sunday on Off the Grid. I recently found out Dennis Knight, a.k.a. Tex Lassinger, a.k.a. Phineas Godwin Midian, is a fan of my stuff and has watched a couple of these streams. I have a mutual friend who reached out and gave me old Dennis's contact info. So,
he's going to reverse the decision because of a brass knuck.
So who knows? Dennis loves me enough. I'll be on Undertaker's podcast someday, or in a Blue Lives Matter. No, I won't. No.
But Larry, coming up this Wednesday, there'll be no disqualification when these two tangle in a rematch for the World TV title.
And I tell you, that's exactly what they're going to need. No disqualification. Let's settle
yeah,
man to man, Tony. When men were men.
Dennis Knight doing commentary for Mystery Wrestling would actually be really, really good. Can't wrestle anymore. He lost like part of his foot.
So there you see the footage. It's going to be a great match this Wednesday.
Well, it is, and I think that Steamboat's going to overcome this frustration. I think Austin better be well prepared.
Coming up next,
Tony Schiavone just seems so annoyed
right now, let's go
that he has to do a
magazine.
separate, like, set of
and welcome to another edition of the WCW magazine.
Talking Heads.
Exciting matches on this explosive card.
You know what I mean.
And it's all coming
Separate
your
set
way
of those
Friday,
things.
September 11th. 8 o'clock bell time, UIC Pavilion,
Chicago
right
specific
here in Chicago. Ron Simmons beats the
WCW
number
Pro.
1 contender, ravishing Rick Rude in that
Yeah, no,
world
Dennis
title
Knight
bout.
lost part of his
Armstrong
foot.
puts his WCW Light Heavyweight Championship
I believe
on the
he,
line.
like, broke his toe.
Brian. You're also going to
And
see
he
Ricky the
couldn't-
Dragon Steamboat and stunning
he had
Steve
built
Austin
up
in a
such a
special
tolerance
challenge
to
match.
pain
The Steiner Brothers beat
that
Greg
he just
Valentine and
couldn't
Dirty Dick
feel
Slater.
it.
The natural Dustin Rhodes faces a super
And then he
invader.
noticed
Big
his
Barry
foot
Windham
was
meets the
turning,
Barbarian.
like,
And
dark
Van Hammer
blue.
and the Z-Man teaming up
And he went to the
take on Arn
hospital,
Anderson
and they're like,
beautiful Bobby
yeah, no,
Eaton.
you,
But let's talk about the grudge match. Jake the Snake
foot
Roberts
needs to be
Cactus Jack
taken care of
teaming
here,
up to
bud.
face
By the way,
Big
shout out
and
to my
Koloff.
SSRI gang.
The light in the window is yet but a crack in the sky.
Ooh, Jake
Stairway
with
to
his
darkness
hair.
in the blink of an eye.
What a
levy
team.
of tears to know that neither one of you will be coming back.
What a team here,
In the
man.
darkness will yield yet another attack.
Oh, yeah, Sting. Nikita Koloff, a tale of two hairstyles.
Jake is-
Nikita, you claim to be from Lithuania, but your
Jake
haircut
is
screams
feeling
Chernobyl.
himself here.
Look in the mirror. Your lives are in danger. Didn't your mama tell you? Don't talk to strangers.
Imagine Jake doing like a
Well, after what happened
heartthrob.
back in Baltimore, August 2nd, when Sting was so
Rubbing
viciously
himself.
attacked by Jake the Snake Roberts. Sting, no
Rizzing
doubt,
himself
looking
up,
forward to
as the
stepping
kids
inside of the
say.
squared circle with the Snake. But this time, he's going to have Nikita Koloff backing him
Imagine
up. As
Jake
Sting
Roberts
and
and the
Koloff face
Rizzler
Jake
doing
the
a
Snake
promo
Roberts
together.
and Cactus Jack. Another tag team matchup coming your way. Very interesting indeed.
Boo?
The Steiner Brothers facing
Or
Greg
two.
the Hammer Valentine and Dirty Dick Slater.
Aye,
Well, speaking of
is
Slater
that
and Valentine, they're
boo.
standing by.
All I heard about Dickie when I first got to the WCW is how great the Steiner
I just-
brothers
I
are.
wouldn't be in a car
the
with
myth of
these
the
two.
Steiners. Nobody can beat the Steiners. They are the awesome tag team of the 90s. Or you're looking at a couple that can beat the Steiners.
Wait, they're a couple?
Right now, Steiners, I'm going to tell you right this
I mean,
way. You
very
guys have already lost a
progressive
few matches.
for 92.
You're on a downswing. Well, Valentine and Steiner on that
Did not- I
upswing.
was not
And it's gonna be
aware.
one
I mean,
heck
they
of a
look-
fight, but we know how tough you guys are.
Let's be
We're
real. They
just as
look
tough.
like a couple women that you would
And
find at an
wrestling fans are
Indigo
also
Girls
going to see
concert.
The natural Dustin Rhodes. He is signed to be in Chicago. He'll be taking on the Super Invader. Big Barry Windham meets the
Oh, hell
Barbarian
yeah,
and
Super
Van
Invader.
Hammer and the Z-Man. Teaming
Oh,
up to
Herc.
face Devil Arn Anderson and beautiful Bobby Eaton. Don't forget Ron Simmons defends his WCW World Heavyweight title against the #1 contender.
I believe he did
Ravishing
call him
Rick
Valentine.
Rude. And wrestling fans, it's Kids Night Out. All kids, 14 and under, they come on down to the UIC Pavilion to enjoy WCW at its finest.
Those are,
Receive
and those
a
are like
free
good
WCW
quality fanny
My name is
packs
Eric
too.
Bischoff. I'll
Good
be back
leather
later
work
on in the hour to talk
on
about
those
more of the
things.
exciting action coming your way right here in Chicago, Friday, September 11th, 8 o'clock bell time at the
We are
UIC
not
Pavilion.
sold
So
on
don't
going to that
go
house
away.
show September 11th, UIC Pavilion. Oh, I'm with you guys. We need these type of promos brought back. I would love like if AEW brought back like the Pulp Fiction style promos, just like rapid fire, like backstage. Just get like 8 or 10 guys in like a 5-minute segment. Just back to back to back.
A very focused and
There we go. Here's
electric
Nikita.
nightmare, Nikita Koloff. He's into the ring. Tony Gillum better get out. That is
Tony
George
Gillum
South. Nikita Koloff
really
is angry because of
shouldn't
one
have been
thing.
cued in that he
2
was
weeks ago,
gonna get
in
jumped to the
Omni
bell.
in Atlanta, Medusa dressed up as the security guard kicked Koloff in the
Yeah, I
head,
think
and
MJF would be better
Ravishing
served
Rick
to
Rude
not
retains
have
the World TV
very much
title
promo
when
time.
Medusa was to be barred
He'll
from the
have
building.
promo time, but
Well, that would make me
maybe not
mad
like a whole
The way
segment.
Koloff ran in there, just attacked old George South.
George South, it's so weird seeing him with hair. By the way, shout out George South, who was running ministry at the Gathering of the Juggalos. He ran a tent called Juggalos for Jesus,
Going after George South.
and he would give sermons every day at the Gathering
Knows
this
Nikita
past weekend.
Koloff very, very well.
Yeah, well, South is no slouch in there, but Koloff, he's just in a different frame of mind than we've seen him before. Obviously preoccupied.
God bless George
I like
South
to punch
for
Medusa out myself. I can imagine how Koloff
doing the
feels.
Lord's work. Whoop, whoop.
Nightmare suplex over the top. Here we go with the shoulder
The super kicking
Extended
security guard
forward
was
that
Medusa.
time to take him down.
throwing a super kick even though she was holding a baton in her hand. Holding a giant-ass nightstick.
Whoa, he's going to give into that one.
An MJF's origin story
will bring Koloff, the U.S.
has to... There's no way it makes any sort of sense at this point.
Koloff now will cover George South. It is over.
Like, he's so, like...
Here's your winner, Nikita Koloff.
Great delivery.
The Chicagoland Report and an interview with World
The substance. A little more.
The Chicagoland Report. Yes, coming up in about 2 weeks on Friday, September the 11th.
I feel like MJF gets
Valentine,
bored
UIC
a
Pavilion.
lot.
Big back-to-school night for World Championship Wrestling. Talk about that a little bit later on, but right now let's talk about the main event, which has been signed. Ron Simmons, ravishing ring for the World
MJF was bullied, but also he was like the coolest guy in school and like the quarterback of the football team. And he like wanted to be a wrestler, but people would pick on him and say you're too small for being a wrestler to be a wrestler. And also one time, like you said, he killed a girl in a car
And that match will take place on Friday,
and
September 11th. As a matter of fact, we have the WCW World Champion Ron Simmons standing by, some very directed comments towards one ravishing Rick Rude.
I can't tell you people how proud I am to stand here as your world's heavyweight champion.
What a way to start a promo. I can't tell you people
for the support that you've given me over the years, over the past
So listen to me talk for 30 seconds.
Just as recent. Because I've
Shellcracker found the attendance numbers of this house show they're promoting drew just under 1,500 fans. 1,489.
I'm going to show you and
I want to know how many fanny packs were given out.
When I get in that ring with Rick Rude Friday in Chicago, I'm going to need all of your help, all of your support. Together, we can keep this belt for a long time. You come down and show Ron Simmons that
am I getting part of your pay, buddy?
Ring as your champion, and I'll show you that I'm going to give it everything I've got to keep this belt for a long time. Bring everybody down with you. Let's prove to the people that we're for real. I'm going to show them that Ron Simmons is a capable champion.
Ron
I'm going to
Simmons
prove to you, Rick
all
Rude, that I'm not
1,400 people to back him up.
Comments for the world champion Ron Simmons, focused and ready for ravishing Rick Rude here in Chicago.
Well, you know what Ron Simmons said is the way you have to feel. You have to carry that holy grail out and defend it with the utmost in confidence. You have to believe in yourself, and Simmons does. But Rick Rude, he believes in himself too, and the Medusa, and the DA. So what Simmons, thinks may happen, Rick Rude has another idea. We're going to have to wait to find out.
It'll be a tremendous match. 8 matches in all. The UIC Pavilion. Tickets, the box office, Ticketmaster locations. Back to school night. That means all kids 14 and under get a free WCW hip pass. Plus Sting and Nikita Koloff against Cactus Jack and Jake.
Athletic tape was shiny. I think he was using electrical tape over the
against the Steiner Brothers, and a big return match from this Wednesday between Ricky Steamboat and stunning Steve Austin. 8 matches in all. Get your tickets early. When we come back on WGN, our main event, Dustin Rhodes.
Oh yeah, main event time coming up.
Where you are.
That's a good point, Fart Master. He's holding the world title, and he has to be like, I will prove myself to you. He beat Vader for the belt.
From New Mexico, Cactus Jack. Cactus Jack set to go to this event. We have some great action coming your way tonight, I understand, Larry, WCW.
The boys are back on the road. Tonight they'll be in Kansas City. And tomorrow afternoon in Manhattan.
Why are we plugging house shows in Kansas City for the Chicago-specific WCW Pro show? Y'all have another version of the show that goes out to Kansas. You can promote that on the nationwide feed.
Yeah, and you know what? Here's a factoid for you. Big Cat went to school there, believe it or not. That is his
in Manhattan, yes. Manhattan, Kansas.
Big Cat Curtis Hughes will be on that card.
Congratulations, you got a diploma and a pair of sunglasses.
That's good. And now we're going to take a look at the natural Dustin Rhodes and Cactus Jack. Also want to remind the fans we'll be in Dallas next weekend, next Saturday. At the Sportatorium, Fort Hood on Friday the 4th, and Thursday the 3rd of September, San Angelo, Texas, in the Coliseum. WCW action.
Why are we promoting house shows in Texas on WCW Pro Chicago?
Cactus Jack knows a lot of wrestling. He's a very, he's a nut.
If 1,400 people are coming to the show in Chicago, do you think any of them will be flying out to Kansas or Texas?
Cactus pushes away, doubly aggressive, I know, and another way to say that is to be...
WGN's a superstation, but there's a nationwide feed and a Chicago feed.
And Cactus likes it.
This aired specifically on the Chicago feed. There's a WGN nationwide feed that went to the rest of the country. That this did not air on. This only aired in Chicago and the surrounding areas.
They had the third degree with Cactus Jack, an exclusive interview with Cactus Jack. Some very interesting reading to get into the mind of this maniac.
I tell you, he almost lost a few more teeth too. The way.
Yeah, we're running a joint show with New Japan at the Dome in January. Come on out.
Dustin really slowing it down here. I thought he would try to pick the speed up, but he takes a fireman's carry takeover and takes Cactus Jack down off the mat.
Well,
Mike Atkins, a referee, thank goodness.
Instructor said to me one time, "Do not wake the sleeping tiger." In other words, why rush in? I mean, Cactus Jack is a big guy who's a nut. And Dustin Rhodes.
All right, Brian. It's getting late. I'm gonna call everybody by the wrong name.
Some people might say,
all right, we'll see you next week, Brian. Send my best to Marla. Have a good night.
He's not
a great wrestler. He's a big, tough guy. He knows some moves. He's basically a nut. You can't hurt Cactus Jack. He just doesn't care.
He's as tough as they come. There's no doubt about it. He says he likes being a mercenary. He thinks it's a compliment.
Cactus Jack has a very comfortable-looking
tie. And he's going right after Dustin again. Once he gets you down in a prone position,
Peg Bundy.
That's where he can work on it. He gets you pinned in the corner or on the outside.
Not so much the coloring, but just the style of it, I guess. The mixed feelings about both these. Dustin, I think, is an unheralded great. I love Dustin.
He's a little man.
And Mick's really good in the ring. And talking in the promo room.
And I'm not so sure that hair all mangled in front of the face.
I lost track of what I was saying. Again, it's getting late.
He seems to delight when there's pain inflicted upon him.
Ask him.
I'll tell you, he's definitely not a man of the clergy. I mean, he is gone.
Oh, you meant their clothes.
He is certainly
both their gears. Okay, I can't read.
No doubt about it, but very effective.
I can't read.
WCW. As a matter of fact, he has a title.
Dustin did get such a raw deal. Yes, Matt. If you go back and read The Observer from this time, you would have thought Dustin Rhodes was the most talentless Nepo baby. Oh my goodness.
That was a back body drop on the concrete. Yeah, that is.
Oh my gosh, come on, Mick. And Doug Dillinger is like, come on, don't touch him. Don't touch this man falling on his very large ass.
I guess maybe the first time I've ever seen Cactus Jack on the outside and the tables were turned on him.
You know, Dustin Rhodes
started this bullshit, match off being
scientific, using the moves and the leverage.
That's half of his matches.
Here comes his bulldog.
Oh.
Cactus Jack shrugged him off. Maybe Dustin.
Yeah, no, if you read The Observer around this time,
he did.
Meltzer's like, oh, he's getting this push, and he doesn't deserve it. Yeah, it's because it was residual dusty heat.
And he kicked him on the outside, and that's an opportunity
and
that he's not going to let
they just took it. Meltzer especially just beat the shit out of Dustin textually.
You never know what's going to happen here.
Oh, nice. The old cactus somersault. And then weirdly enough, around the time Dave and Dusty became friends, all of a sudden, Dustin becomes good.
You're not going to use your body as a weapon.
All right, Stephen J. Neptune Man with the factoid from the Factoid Master himself. This week in history, August 29th, 92, the Yankees beat the Twins to go 61-69 in the season. The Mets lost to the Cincinnati Reds 5-6 to go 59-67. The Giants, the New York Giants, lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers 24-3 in the last game of the 92 NFL preseason. And the #1 song in the country, End of the Road by Boyz II Men. This has been your Top 40 Countdown. I'm Casey Kasem.
Exactly.
Yeah, Dustin was never bad. Like, even like his early Florida stuff, he's good.
Cactus finds a home for his left knee, and it was the midsection of Dustin Rhodes. Now ahead of Steve. There he is. The leg drop.
Wickface, thank you so much for the follow.
1, 2, it is not over. Dustin got the right shoulder up in time.
Oh, so many graduations. Boys to Men must have such heat with Green Day. Because you know that the second the Time of Your Life came out, they lost so much steam from those graduations. And I was going to say money, but you don't get paid to have your song played at the graduation.
Cactus Jack with the right hand of his own, and they're going at it toe-to-toe. It's action like this, our fans.
And then somewhere in their Vitamin C pops them for a graduation song.
Right hand from Dustin Rhodes, sitting Cactus Jack down.
I tell you, it's hard to duke it out with Dustin Rhodes because his arms are like 9 feet long each. He's got a tremendous reach. That's it, man. That's it.
Spear.
He's just gone bonkers.
You gotta throw wrestling out the window with Cactus Jack.
Dustin throwing some bombs.
Exactly what he's doing. His temper really has the best of him now. Dustin doesn't really care about anything else. He's going to
I think we're getting a schmalzberry, as they would say. Jeez! Nick just punched him in the kidney. Yes, the show aired the same day as SummerSlam 92 was recorded, but because it was the 90s, they aired it a couple days later because it was in England. Wait, they played the thong song at your graduation? I think we're getting some sort of Dustin, like, career achievement award title run.
And welcome to the final edition of this week's
I love
WCW
Dustin Rhodes, double
magazine.
champion in
The card is
AEW.
set, it's
He's
signed,
making
and it's
Sammy
going to be
Guevara
delivered right here
bearable.
in Chicago, Friday, September 11th, 8 o'clock bell time.
Thank you so much, Geyser. Russell needs a pretty damn good channel, so glad to be in those good in those
title.
on that level.
Rick Rude. Brad Armstrong meets Flying Brian Pillman. The
Thank
WCW
you.
Light
Thank
Heavyweight
you,
Championship
Geyser.
up for grabs, and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat ready.
Bravo
and
needs
able to
bacon.
meet Stunning Steve Austin
I
here in
have
Chicago.
so much love and respect for Dustin. He's seen and done so
Your
much.
man, Steve Austin,
Absolutely.
has claimed to
Absolutely.
that he has been
All right,
the
Matt
longest
P.
reigning
See you
world
next
television
week.
champion.
Have a good night. Glad to
That's
have
fine
you.
and dandy, but if you look back on the track record, you see that the matches that this man has had, more than half of them have been non-title. And I stand in that situation
Almost
right
as if
now.
people have to
All
earn
can you
title
say that I've got
matches.
to prove myself, beat somebody. Well, I'll tell you something right now. This dragon just might as well
Prove
start with
myself
you.
beating somebody.
And you're also going to see Van Hammer and the Z-Man teaming up to face Double A Arn Anderson and beautiful
I think
Bobby
Ricky had
Eaton.
had
The
short
Steiner
hair for
Brothers
a little
meet
bit.
Greg Valentine and Dirty
Here.
Dick Slater. It's going to be a war in that match, I
Dick
guarantee
Slater.
it. The Natural Dustin Rhodes faces the Super Invader Big Barry Windham meets the Barbarian. As I said
Barry
earlier,
Windham.
Brad Armstrong meets Flying Brian. The WCW Light Heavyweight title on the line, and it's Kids Night Out here in Chicago. All kids, 14
I
and
do
under.
not think
This is
Cody
a
will
free
be there, but I
WCW
absolutely
hip-hop.
think Dustin's
I'm Eric
retiring at
Bischoff.
All
The
in
action
Texas.
continues right after this.
Agreed. Yeah, Gary Juster's like, if you would have just mentioned me another 4 times, we would have done at least 1,800.
A wild double count out between Dustin Rhodes and Cactus Jack.
Wild. That was like being in Bosnia with Woody Allen and his family, man. That was
Okay, we understand that during the break, Dustin has demanded a rematch with Cactus Jack. And he wants a rematch where pinfalls count anywhere in the building for next week. As a matter of fact, let's not talk about
man.
it. Standing by the natural Dustin Rhodes,
I
fresh
should
off
have
his
looked
double
at the
count out,
match
he has this to
listings
say
and
to
maybe
Cactus
bumped
Jack.
this off a week.
All
That's
the
my
fans of
bad.
Chicago just witnessed one heck of a match between you and me, Cactus Jack.
Yeah, that
and
was a-
next week, I'm initiating a challenge right here, right now, for a Falls Count Anywhere match. That's your kind of match. Let's see if you're tough enough to hold it up.
So there you have it from Dustin
Yeah,
Rhodes.
let's
That
see if
match
you're
has been
tough
signed
enough
for
to
next
hold it
week.
up.
Pinfalls count anywhere in the building. In addition, Van Hammer is here next week, and Sting and Nikita
Ooh,
Koloff
Van
in
Hammer is
tag
here
action,
next week.
and more on the next event.
Oh, right to the head goes Dustin. This has been wild, Larry.
All right, so that's
Rhodes, Cactus Jack.
That's it. Very abrupt ending to our fun for tonight. Shout out Wickface. Yes, Dustin has the best scoop Scoop Snoop Slam. Yeah, so thank you all so much for hanging out with me for the last 2 hours and 15 minutes. We've had a lot of fun, some joy, some mayhem, and some mirth. What did Van Hammer do next week? I think he got himself wheeled up and slammed and jammed on somebody. Like this. That's how you throw punches in wrestling. But no, I appreciate you all hanging out with me. It's been a fun Tuesday night. Appreciate all the company. And I'll be back next Tuesday at 9 p.m. here on Twitch. If you're watching the YouTube VOD, go follow me on Twitch. That way you get to watch WCW Deep Cuts live every week. So yeah, as I always like to say to close these things, even if you don't make it here, I really hope you get through the next 7 days. That's all I'm asking. 7 days. I know we can do it. I'm going to try my hardest. I had a rough day. I didn't know if I'd be able to get through this stream, but I did, and I thank you all so much for it. Now to get through the next 7 days so I can come back and hang out with you all again. I'm going to try my hardest again. I hope you do too. This has been WCW Deep Cuts Live. I am Tom, right there. Go listen to Copper Blue by Sugar, Bob Mold, chef's kiss, and go to bed.